Raiders!
Raider Nation, what's happening to y'all? We are here live on a Sunday night, special Sunday night with me and my co-host Duncan Donuts on Show Me the Shield. And apparently somebody decided to send me a text message while I go live. Guess what? We silenced the phone because we're here for you guys and not for whoever's on the damn cell phone. Unless that's Duncan over there.
No, not me. I always have my phone on silent. Everyone knows you turn that thing off when you enter the theater.
Yeah. Well, I usually have it hooked up to my earbuds, but I disconnected the Bluetooth just now. But anyways, let's get into this, man. As you guys know, I'm Raiders First Downs. That's my co-host, Donuts Duncan. And this is not a recap show. This is the aftermath. Because over the last 3 days, the Las Vegas Raiders didn't just draft players. They changed direction. They took a quarterback at number 1, Fernando Mendoza. Let's be clear right now. This is not just a pick. This is a timeline shift for this entire franchise. Everything starts right there, but they didn't stop there. They added violence on defense. Stooks, Crawford. Those are tone setters. They got nastier in the trenches with Zoom. That's a plug-in day one mentality player. And then they added speed, real speed. Mike Washington Jr., Malik Benson. There are fire on the hills and smoke on the grass with those guys. The draft is just not about hype, guys. It's about identity. I'm not going to kid you. And I'm saying this early so nobody can say I waited. This class is going to be looked at better in December than it does right now. Twofold. Full stop. Mendoza is eventually going to take over. Washington is going to touch the ball early. Crawford's going to get to the quarterback. And one of these days, 3 guys is going to make some noise. There's 3 guys that are going to make some noise. So I need to know right now, don't wait. Did the Raiders win this draft? Did they win it over with you? Did they win it over with me? Because me and Duncan, we're not here to gas this up. This isn't for us to gas up. This is for you guys. We're here to tell you what's real. So let's start at the top. Play intro.
Raider Nation! Stop scrolling. The silver and black conversation starts right here. Hot takes, real fans, no filters. This is the show where Raider Nation speaks. So crank it up! And show me your shit!
So Raider Nation, that's all we ask is just show me your shield. Once again, I'm Raiders First Downs, my co-host Donuts Duncan, and we have a special guest on this special Sunday night edition of Show Me Your Shield. Chris R., the meme lord from Rodney Allaboard Discord. Everybody get a shout out, golf clap, whatever you want to do. Duncan, we're going to kick it off. Okay, we're gonna do this kind of in a systematic rotation, but let's start off with this. The Mendoza era begins, and I just want some honesty. Okay, the debate is over. He's ours.
Yep.
Right. He's ours.
There never was one.
There was a debate, but there was a small crowd with a large voice, and kudos to them. Not going to fault you because you guys had your opinions do matter, just like everybody else's. And your takes do matter. But at the same time, there's just so much strength in what we were seeing along with the other 95% of Raider Nation, including other teams. So I want some honesty. First, I'm gonna turn to you, Duncan, real quick. Is he QB week 1 or not?
I think it's unlikely.
Okay.
I think Kubiak, the ownership, and Spytek are all very comfortable with him sitting. Like, let's say there's a competition and Mendoza's pushing that QB1 spot. If it's close, he's not going to play.
Okay. I kind of agree with the same thing. It's like if it's a neck and neck race down the stretch, you go with the veteran to kick it off, and then let that young man see what it's like week in, week out, day in, day out in the process. Because the process in the pros is way different than the process in college, and it's more intensive, more. It's longer. It's a longer drawn out process. It's more than 20 hours a week of preparation is what he's going to have. Yeah. So what say you, Chris? Week 1 or not?
You know, I'm 50-50 right now. I'll be honest, I'm 50-50. Just because the situation we were kind of in with Mendoza and Cousins is very much similar to Schaub and Carr. That same year they brought Matt Schaub in to lead, and then they took Carr in the second round. And then the rest is history. Now, obviously, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Schaub was dealing with an injury that led to Carr taking over. Could be wrong. Obviously, Kirk is healthy right now. Mendoza's healthy. Realistically, I think it's gonna be Cousins leading us day 1. But if Mendoza just shows that he's not lost a step and all this stuff that he's been doing on the offseason to prepare him for the Raiders, I would not be surprised if he beats out Cousins in the preseason. No. I would not be surprised. But I'm gonna trust Spy and Kubiak to do the right thing. They're gonna make the right decision. And if the right decision is Cousins starting, I will not be mad with that. I think it's smart. I 100% agree with having Mendoza sit back and stay, learn, keep him healthy, because all it takes is one bad move and we could lose him. So,
yeah. And let's not just focus on what we gotta think. I mean, we got a bunch of friends here in the chat. We want to hear what they have to say too.
Let's listen to our friends.
Let's give them some homage right now. And we got Salute Alex. Nice to see you in here.
Thanks, brother, for coming in, Alex. Salute.
Frank Weber, guys, consistent. We appreciate you coming in.
Money Chuck, the money man.
Chuck with the long one early. I've said this all year that we have to trust our staff. The more I familiarize myself with our picks, the better I feel. Still questioning passing on McDonald. Now, if I can add on to that, I mean, I think most of us felt the same way day of. But after going to sleep, thinking about it, and actually like looking what our picks were, there's something that started sticking out to me that Spytek was saying all offseason. That's that he wanted to create a strength in the team. Well, then after thinking about that and the picks and everything, our offense is a huge question mark. Like, we don't know exactly what we got in all of our young guys because what happened last year. I mean, we've had, 5 or 6 play callers in 3 seasons? Like, our offense is a huge question mark.
Yeah, so, it's still a nightmare.
So why not build off of the knowns? We have a superstar in Max Crosby. We have a solid safety in Chen. We re-signed our cornerback and have another young one that got some decent playing time last year in Porter. And we have a bunch of depth at D tackle. So, we already have somewhat of a foundation on that defense. Then they go into free agency and they just stack it with great run stoppers, absolute monsters against the run. And they got a strong nickel cornerback when healthy. He's probably the best nickel in the league.
I would actually add on to that, and I would say that the Raiders have the 2 best middle linebackers in the game right now, or possibly the best duo. We can't really shortchange that because the fact that, they were great on separate teams. When they're together, that might take us even further.
when they're together, their styles, and when they were together in college, they were the Styles and Reese before Styles and Reese.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
And we got them both after they got seasoned up for 4 years, so they're on our team.
yeah,
But I'm going to flip over to the offensive side of the ball before we get going too far, because Money Chuck, we'll throw Money Chuck up there real quick, because this kind of in a broad roundabout way brings us into the Mendoza. The new era begins, right? That's where we're standing right now on this topic, and I wholeheartedly agree. Do you and with what Money Chuck is saying here? Do you see in the draft with the offensive players that we selected, where those glove in hand picks to suit what we're trying to do with Mendoza and that offense? Chris, I'm going to go with you first.
I like them. I honestly like the picks that we got with offense. I think they're going to help out. Obviously, Mike Washington Jr., I do not see that one coming. I thought he would be gone by then. I honestly thought he would be like, he would probably, in my opinion, I think he probably would have fit what Seattle was probably doing. You know, they lost Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs, and with a player like that, I think he'd fit in with Seattle quite well. Instead, they went with Jadarian Price. I believe a comment that was made during the draft is Price doesn't even have a starting snap in his college career because he sat behind Jeremiah Love. But Washington, he's going to be the thunder to Genty's lightning or reverse. You know, that's going to be strong. Zune, you guys, I joined you guys on the Zune train when you guys started talking about him, and you know, I started looking into him. Like, that versatility is something to not pass on. He's good, you know. Offensive line, we've always had issues with offensive line, so building up that trenches is definitely something I'm always for. Now, the one thing that I will argue, I think he's going to be a guard. I think he's going to push and fight Caleb Rogers and JPJ to take over. So we'll see how that goes. Benson, good, fast, young receiver. I still want to see more from our guys last year.
Yeah, and we're going to get into that. We're going to get in. We have a breakdown of where we're going to go with all that. And Chris, and hold that thought. I'm not trying to interrupt you. Hold that thought, but that's going to be segment 4, I think, when we get into it. So with Money Chuck, because we're in the Mendoza era. That's where we want to specifically hit some of the teeth right now. And Duncan, with the picks that we made, what do you think? How do you think that's going to benefit Mendoza?
Ultimately, they didn't focus very much on offense, right? They wanted a definite number 2 running back to be a 1-2 combo with Genty. They got that great player in Washington who's a physical freak at that running back position. And he ran predominantly zone, both outside and inside, and a lot of pitches too in that Arkansas offense. So he's going to fit right into the zone scheme that Kubiak wants. And then Trey Zune, who's just a stout offensive lineman. I mean, I've been clamoring for the guy all off season. I thought he was going to go in the 4th round, but hey, 3rd round, that might have been the smart pick because he might have been taken if we didn't take him when we did. Yeah. And he's definitely, like Chris said, going to be pushing for a starting guard spot, whether it's Rogers or JPJ. But I will say this, if JPJ gets hurt again, I would imagine Zune or Rogers steps in and they do not relinquish that spot.
Yeah, so, we'll talk more about Zune later on in the show as well.
Yeah.
But right now, the cure and all of this is with Mendoza. If this fails with Mendoza, is it on him or is it on the Raiders? Duncan?
At this point, I would say it's 50-50 because we are providing some support for Mendoza and getting him ready. Like, we brought in the coach for him, new system. We strengthened the offensive line on the interior a bit with the draft pick, and then we also had a free agent we added. And then we also went and got Linderbaum, who's absolutely stout at the center position, amazing at the run block.
Shot bar salute to you.
So by adding to that run support, that should take some pressure off the quarterback's shoulder. Like, we're stepping up to help that quarterback position.
Salute to you.
So hopefully we keep adding to it, and then that way when Mendoza does take over, it's just he's able to take off and soar.
Yeah. And Frank Weber's coming in here in the offseason. We didn't lose a single player that I wanted to keep. Then we added some players in free agency. That is why I completely trust this young new staff. Yeah, hang with us, Frank Weber. We're going to continue to go through those. We're not breaking down players tonight specifically. I know I threw the Mendoza era in there, but I kind of want to. What I want to do tonight, we're just going to talk about the categories in which we addressed in the draft, the specific aspects of what we did in the draft, and foremost, since we weren't on that topic, let's talk about our poll here that we had. Which position group did we improve the most? Quarterback, press 1 in the chat for quarterback, 2 for running back, 3 for secondary, and 4 for defensive front. I did only allowed 4 topics on our poll, so offensive line. Duncan, I don't know about you, but I think just that one offensive lineman makes a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, it's showing the confidence that they've been saying they've had in the offensive tackle position.
Yeah.
So they're really want the guys that they've drafted over the past 2 seasons to develop and see what they got in them before they put even more stock in the draft for that offensive line.
Chris, I'm gonna go ahead and jump up, and that's category 3. But I'm gonna take category 3, and we're just gonna put the name up on the board. You guys that are in the chat, keep voting, man. This is what you do. Just so you know, it's one. Just press the number, hit send. If you like to make a comment with your vote, just send another text with your comment, and we will be more than glad to read your comment on stage. But before we get going any farther, Chris, we're just going to throw it up there. Do you feel by picking up Zune and his versatility that now that creates significant and righteous competition at the guard position?
Oh yeah. No, I 100% agree. I think Zune, his work ethic, his versatility, he's someone that we got to really keep an eye on to be a starter within the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. I think more than anything, it's going to push JPJ to be better. It's going to push Grant to be better. It could make Meredith a forgotten thing of the past, because we did sign, if I'm not mistaken, we did re-sign Meredith, and the plan is to move him back to the guard position, which in my honest opinion, that's where he was the best. He was horrible at center last year. He should have never moved to center. He should have stayed at the left guard position. I definitely think Zune is going to be someone that within the next couple of years, he will take one of the guard spots and hold it down, whether it's going to be over JPJ, Grant, or Meredith. He's there.
So one of the things when we made that selection, we made that pick at 91, in which we traded back from 36 to 38. Duncan, you know what we're talking about now. Huh? We're not going to go into detail on that right here. But we went back from 36 to 38. We picked up 90. We jumped up to 91. And at 91, we took Trey Zune. And there was a lot of people in Raider Nation that were upset that we took him at 91. And the narrative was, why did we take a center at 91 when we just drafted Linderbaum and we have JPJ that could be the backup center? Now, pump the brakes for just a second out there, Raider Nation, because if you do your homework and you actually watch the kid play, and I actually watched, and it was, I believe, a Mississippi State game in which the announcer was doing a player profile on him during that game, and it caught my attention at that point. And when they said, this guy is a jack of all trades on the offensive line, he plays center, guard, and tackle, which is very rare that somebody can actually play all 3 positions on both sides of the line. So basically all 5 positions on the offensive line and do it effectively. And they were touting how effective he really was at all aspects of it. And then you start to dig into it, and he was left tackle predominantly, 47 starts at left tackle in the SEC against some predominantly beast of edge rushers.
Yeah. He had I believe it was the best or the second best percentage rate pass rush percentage rate in college last year.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he, like you said, played against some dominant SEC edges, and he even played against Miami,
Yep.
where I believe he's the only offensive tackle last year that didn't provide or allow a pressure from Bain.
That's
So-
saying something.
Ooh,
That's saying something.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, he did share the award for best O lineman in college football last year.
With Caden Proctor, yep.
So
Who went way before him, right?
yeah.
So I think absolutely we hit a home run. I'm not going to argue that we could have got him at 102 or 101. For those of you that do your draftologies and your thing, and you're totally entitled to that and how you rate people and things like that. But you know what? There also comes a point in time where you trust a GM that says, we got a guy on our board. We can't wait for him to try and fall to us. We got to go get him.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
So
Before we get going any farther, we got some more chat in here. Frank Weber's come. We've already read Frank Weber. Thanks for coming in, Frank. Appreciate it. Stick around. We got a lot more dialogue that Frank Weber you're going to be definitely involved in. But Duncan, can you starting with your vote, since apparently you were the first one to vote? Start reading off our votes for us, would you please, my friend?
Let's see, we got to take these comments off, right?
Mm-hmm.
The banner's over top of it too. There we go. So right now it's looking like we got one person voted for quarterbacks and everyone else is predominantly voting the secondary. And getting back to what I was saying earlier is Spytech wanted to create a strength in the team. And after the free agency class, we had a very strong run defense. Well, now with this draft, they seriously instilled players that are good against the pass. We got a ball hawking safety who can also play nickel, has a lot of versatility, and even play the outside cornerback in the second round. And then we went and got an edge rusher in the third round. And then they went and got more depth, very, very needed depth in the secondary in both the cornerback and safety positions. And guys that have high upside that could possibly end up being starters in the future. So for me, secondary is the easy vote. And they are really trying to make this defense the strength of the team while we figure out the unknowns of the offense.
Sure. Now, real quick, I'm going to touch on the chat real quick. Nick Telle, he coming in here. Thanks for voting. If you got comments with your vote, feel free to shoot those comments in. If you hit us with one, man, we will run with it like no tomorrow. So if you got a take and it don't suck, bring it. We'll love to hear it. And look who's back from his road trip, the skipper himself. Glad to have you in here, Jeff, man. I hope you're feeling good, doing good, my friend. Frank Weber's, yeah. I'm not bueno in the house.
Should we hit it for him?
Go ahead.
Do it.
Raiders.
Nice little rally cry for the Bueno stir. Yeah, just wait for Rorschach coming here and crack-a-lacking. So we're going to continue on. Chris, I'm going to start with you on this. We're going to go back. We skipped over this topic, but I'm going to go back to it with you. And then since our poll right now, I hope I don't offend you, Bueno, but I'm going to show this real quick. Stooks and Crawford, go ahead, my friend. Give us your take.
My initial reaction, I was at work when I heard the picks. I was a little bit shocked that they traded back a little bit. I'm like, okay, they're going to trade back, probably, get another pick or two. And then when I heard who Houston got, and now these are initial reactions. I'm kind of going through it really quick. I was kind of like, what? We really passed up Caden McDonald? I'm like, okay, well, they must know something. And then when we ended up picking Stooks, I'm like, I'm a big fan of Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I thought he would be great for us. Now, obviously, didn't happen. We picked Stooks, and I'm like, we had EMW right there. We had Malik Boston right there. I'm kind of in agreement with Rodney there in terms of, if we want to get a wide receiver, we can't really go wrong with Malik Boston, who is 6'4", good size, good speed. And then now sleeping on it, reading up on him with Stukes, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can rock with it, because after looking into him, he's got good explosiveness. He's smart, and it fits a need. So if that was the Raiders' BPA at that time, if he was higher than everything, then I'm gonna trust that they know what they're looking for. And after hearing that, how smart and the days of jock football players are over, quote that he made. I believe he made that quote at the press conference that he was taking. I'm for it. We need smart football players, especially someone in the secondary who can assist in picking apart what they're doing.
Yep.
Crawford was like, okay, I can see that way you can use edge rushers. I think we're going to put him at the outside linebacker position, and I think he'd fit there. We do need better edge rushers. I'm still not 100% sold on Malcolm Kuntz. Obviously, we know what happened with Tyree Wilson, but I think the thing that sold me on Crawford is the want and drive to be with this team, the want and drive to play under Max. I believe there was someone who mentioned that Max was the guy he wanted to play with more than anything, and he was going to stick to him like glue. If that's the kind of drive motor he has, and he wants to be as good as Max, I think we'll be good. We're going to need to look for a Max replacement sooner or later. So,
yeah, we're just going to need to address that position, and addressing it in the third round of this draft was perfect. Duncan, your reaction to us passing on McDonald at 36, my friend?
I was a little shocked. I mean, there's a group of players that we were all looking at before the draft that we'd really like in the second round. So then when we traded back, I was like, okay, well, McDonald's probably gone. The Texans, when they traded up with us, I'm like, okay, well, they really need a nose guard to really solidify that front, and they're just going to continue dominating with that defense. So it wasn't too much of a shocker that they went and got McDonald. And then we ended up passing up on the receivers when there was a few still on the board there that we had a bunch of 30 visits. So that was kind of shocking too. And we ended up going with Stukes. And that caught me by surprise, because that wasn't really a name I was looking at in the second round. But after sleeping on it and thinking about it, like, we needed a ball hawking safety, and that's the guy they chose. And then last Tuesday on our show, when you asked me what should we be looking for in the draft after the first round, I said the second through fourth rounds, we need to look for players that produce but are also versatile. And that's Stukes to a T. That's also Crawford and Zune. All three of them are versatile. Crawford, he can play that 5 technique, that 7 technique. He's also has experience dropping back in pass coverage, covering the flats and the linebacker depth. So, like, all three of those players just absolutely nail the versatility, and it goes to show what this scouting staff and office really values.
Yeah. Get back into the chat. Let me get caught up a little bit here. Jeffrey, one thing we have learned through this process, this regime values versatility above all else. Exactly. If you look at all these picks, our majority of these picks, there's a lot of versatility built into it, where they're not stuck into one position, especially like with Stukes being nickelback safety. Crawford, just like you were saying with Crawford, could be a 5, could be a 7, could be, he could be a hybrid, dropping back on the second level, and have him, do a zone dog blitz or something. Jack Kenneth, thanks for coming in, my friend. Yeah, salute to you. We have Dark Ping. Dark Ping is here. Access granted. Thank you, sir. Raiders Unleashed. Salute, my friend. Thanks for coming in. Zahn, I believe, will be that swing backup who can play all positions. It's one less offensive lineman that we need on the. That's one less offensive lineman that we need on the roster. I hope I'm reading this right, but yeah, exactly. You know, if just the mere fact of adding offensive line depth with that pick, so be it. I'm all good with it at 91 because you know what? You can never have, like they say, you can never have enough good offensive linemen. And you guys have seen it the last few years, man. Once Miller goes down or JPJ goes down, there's a huge drop off, but what's sitting behind them. And I even said on Jeff, when me and Jeff did one of our shows, that it's like, I'll be quite honest with you, there's a lot of teams out there with backups that are better than our starters. You know, so we got to get our offensive line to that level. I want to get it to that Philadelphia Eagles level where we have a backup on our team that probably could be a Pro Bowler on another team.
Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't hurt to do that. But before we go any farther with the chat, there's a special person that is coming into the chat. We've been waiting for you. I've seen you. I hear you. Rorschach. Thanks, brother, for coming in. You and Bueno have a good time tonight. And is that a grin on Duncan's face? Because I can't tell with that beard like Haggard.
I'm grinning with Rorschach and Bueno in the chat. Their back and forth is notorious.
Yeah. It's like, you ever watch the Muppets with the two old men up in the balcony? Yeah. There we go. Salute to you all that have come into the chat. 31 in here watching, several of you chatting. The Raider Rebel, thank you so much, brother. I feel like the huge drop off when those players got hurt were because we had Stone, Fireside, and Kappa as their backup. The drop off now is nowhere near as far as it's been in the past. Throw Burford in there as well. Burford's got a lot of good run in San Francisco, running the same scheme, same outfit, and he had good. He was good, not great, good, and then you throw Caleb Rogers in there that got some pretty decent amount towards the last season of some reps in there. Ain't gonna lie with Zune. There's some guys that probably should be thinking about whether or not they need to step up their game, because if that guy comes in with the work that he has, the only position that he's not going to take is center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I could really truly see him if Miller goes down again at left tackle and him coming in, and if he plays really, really well. I love Colton Miller, man. Thanks. You're a Raider. Once a Raider, always a Raider, my friend. It's just the dynamics of this. And then when we're at this point of the season that you start looking at, don't fall in love with some of our past players, guys, because they might not be here coming.
Yeah. Yep. And Raiders Unleashed has a great point with what he posted. I mean, we absolutely raised the floor of our offensive line. And not just our offensive line, but our defensive backs also.
Oh,
yeah.
Tremendously.
Like, we loaded up that depth with what seems to be quality players.
Yeah.
And with the help of that, our special teams should be looking a whole lot better too.
Yep. All three phases.
I honestly think we got our future starters in this draft with McCoy and Stooks, Johnson, and Masses. I don't think we should be sleeping on those guys. Mix in Porter too. We still have Porter on the roster. We could be looking at our new starting backfield right there in terms of the secondary. So McCoy, that kid's gonna ball. Stay healthy, recover. That kid's gonna ball.
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy how long it took us to even bring up McCoy. Like, that's possibly the steal of the draft right there. Guy was easily the best cornerback in this draft if he was healthy, and we got fourth round. And that's just absolutely insane. With the fourth round, I'm completely fine with taking that gamble on somebody as good as him.
I was talking a lot in the Discord, and I'm like, McCoy is still there. A fourth round pick for him is worth the risk, you know.
Yeah, especially when you have as many as we had.
Yeah, we had. I think at one point, didn't we have 3 at one point?
We had three
and traded one away. We
traded one up into the third round. It gave us extra third rounder. So
right, yeah.
So,
but like, you know, he tremendous upside. You know, tremendous upside. J.C. Horn comparison. I think he is going to be playing with the biggest chip on his shoulder. I think a bigger chip than, you know, I'm call me sacrilegious in this thing or call me crazy. A bigger chip than Shador probably has with his slide last year, but his slide I think was a product of his own volition. This slide was just an unfortunate event. I think he's going to be a dominant corner. I think he's going to grow. Even if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. We just wasted a fourth on him.
So I'm going to touch on McCoy for just a second, and we're going to move on. Based on what I saw with him in his interview afterwards, and his own interpretation of what the doctors and what he's been told, is that right here, right now, the knee is not an issue. It is just something that could happen in the future, and which there becomes inflammation, irritation, or anything like that causes him to like, hey, I got to shut it down. I'm having pain in that knee. And it's because of that plug surgery, and that plug surgery could be done one more time, and that's it. And if the second one doesn't take, you basically are not going to play football again. Huge risk. I get it. The Raiders are taking a huge risk, but we're also taking a risk, and we're trusting that he and the medical staff are going to be okay. He's not the first person to go through this in the NFL. There have been other people that have done this and have come back just fine, if not even a little bit better with that type of ACL repair surgery. So I'm going to just trust that process with it. Duncan, am I missing anything on that?
No, I think we covered it. I mean, he's going to be a great player. It's a gamble on his knee, but like you said, many players have had this type of surgery before and have been able to come back successfully.
Yeah. And it's just, at that point, it's just fingers crossed. And if he does have the surgery, now, if the Raiders for some reason say, hey, we want you to have the surgery, we don't even intend to play you this year. Okay, just go get that surgery, come back next year. You're a Raider. Here's your money that you would get for your fourth round, which is a huge drop off what he would have got in the first round. I get it. But he's also that type of guy that his second contract, the way he plays, his second contract will be ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those, man, I hope we can keep him after 4 years. That's the type of talent that he has.
If we definitely treat him right, I think he'll stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And real quick, we got 30 people in the chat still. If you haven't done it already, type in your number on what position group you think we upgraded the most.
Yep.
Where did we improve the most? With Zune being the only offensive lineman, we didn't include the O-line in this, but again, we've talked about Zune a bunch. He's going to be a very, very good player for us.
And another quick thing on McCoy before we shift. Jeffrey in chat posted a good thing. He's only 20 years old. Have a lot of years left in him.
Yeah. And bringing up the chat, we got Raiders Unleashed saying, would love to see Zune compete for right tackle spot.
Yep. To kick off his career, that would be awesome.
I have a slightly different idea. Why not? Because Zune's a versatile guy who's going to be able to play multiple positions on that offensive line. I think it'd be better for Zune to focus on basically left guard, left tackle, to step in for a possible injury between Miller and JPJ. Why not give Grant the full time you're going to compete for that right tackle spot against Glaze?
Yeah,
and I like it. Focus just on the right side. Yeah.
That's a position that he's going to win. I think he's going to win that position.
Grant's got some happy feet, which you love to see in an offensive line. His feet do not stop on the few plays he had last year. So that kind of excites me with his possibilities, especially in the zone run scheme. He's going to be able to get outside of those edges and open up that outside lane for both of our running backs.
Yeah.
Bueno saying, Reb, you ain't wrong, fam, makes me think that Slytech has cooking up with our O-line. We have Grant and Rogers. Yeah.
And then Raider Rebel, come back down a little bit lower on that chat box there. This right here, I'm gonna go all in on with this as well. Because I don't think there's a wrong answer in any of these scenarios, guys. Let's just face it. I don't think there's any. If we were to come into the camp and say and tell Grant, hey, focus on the right side. We got this kid we just got from Texas A&M. We're going to have him focus on the left side, guard and tackle, okay, on that side. And then you're going to have JPJ on the right side with Rogers, right? A little bit more competition there. We obviously know there's no competition at the $27 million spot.
Yeah.
It's locked down, so we ain't got to worry about that. The only competition is going to be between JPJ and Zune, who's going to be the backup. And quite honestly with you, I would roll with JPJ as the backup. Just for the simple fact that it still keeps leverage with Zune of guard and tackle, right? And I know he was listed as a center, which I don't understand why he was listed as center, because he's only got that much. It's like with back in the day, who was it? Champ Bailey, right? He's a cornerback. He's not a wide receiver. He only had like 20 snaps at quarterback, he was a cornerback, not a receiver. Excuse me, misstated. Cornerback, not a receiver. But yet they still were putting him in as a receiver, like he was going to get drafted as a receiver. No, he went as a cornerback. He was a damn good one too.
Yep.
Yeah. So Raider Rebel, absolutely. I'm with you on that as well. It's just, to be quite honest with you, I don't think there's a wrong answer on either way, any approach with how they take Zune and Miller. And I know Grant was drafted to be Colton Miller's predecessor. This, if they go, hey, you know what? We kind of think that, Grant, we could plug and play Grant on the right side and Zune on the left side. I know if you look at the physical attributes, Grant's higher up because he's got a longer reach, got bigger wingspan, a little bit stronger up in the traps, and he probably has a little bit better punch than Zune, but Zune he's just a student and a workaholic. So that's one of the biggest reasons why we took him at 91.
Well, how about thinking of it this way? How nice is it for us Raider fans to be able to be somewhat excited about the offensive line again? Like, we're seeing the options that are at hand now, and now we have a real offensive line coach. So it's going to be fun to see what he does with these guys. Mm-hmm. How are they going to be practicing? Where are they going to be predominantly practicing?
It's going to be like back in 2016.
Yeah,
we had Rodney Hudson.
But now we actually have more depth. It's not just top starter value. We have depth behind where we got guys challenging. That's where the entertainment for me is going to be coming in. Because also, don't forget, we signed a free agent guard also who can be a starter in the league. So we got 4 legitimate guys that could be pushing for a starting guard spot.
Yeah.
And then my opinion, coming in, talking about McCoy again, he's worth the 4th pick. Absolutely. Can definitely end up being the steal of the draft, like Unleashed said. And as you pointed out earlier, Chris, Jeffrey saying McCoy's only 20. So his ability could be limitless as long as his knee holds out.
Oh, yeah.
And to add to that comment, go back up to that take real quick.
This one?
To add to that. The great thing about McCoy is he's only 20 years old. This is where I'm not opposed to shutting him down for the year.
Yeah.
Put him on the PUP list. Well, if we put him on the PUP list, he can't really participate in practice, correct?
I'm not sure how.
But we have to put him on. We have to put him on PUP to protect his rights. And then or we put him on long-term injury reserve, and he would be PUP because this is the injury reserve is he didn't accrue the injury while playing with us. This is previous, so it would be the PUP.
Yeah, it feels like
non-football injury list or the NF list or whatever. But I would not be opposed to that. I think just due to his age in and of itself at 20 years of age, that probably wouldn't be a bad thing either. I mean, as much as we want to see our studs hurry up and get out on the field.
Yeah.
We're not drafting for 2026. We're not drafting for 2026. This is all 2027. See the horizon. Have high visual horizon as we're viewing this team being built, my friends. Raider Nation, just see the high visual horizon. That's all we're asking. But having said that, the only thing, going back to the McDonald thing, and I didn't get address this, going back to McDonald, the only thing I don't want to see is in a year or two go, hey, we could have got McDonald. You know what I mean? Well, that's the only thing I'm praying that doesn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna root for him still. He's a good player. I don't wish any bad on any player unless they play for teams that are obviously in our division or a team I can't stand for. So, if he does well, yeah, I'm gonna be like, it could have been ours, but I'm still gonna be like, hey, the kid's a stud.
Yeah.
Hey, his contract is up. If he just decides to leave, hey, come back, bring your body along. There's always that option.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing the poll back up there for. Listen, 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to vote. If you haven't voted already, 30 seconds to cast your vote. Number one, press 1 if you think we improved at the quarterback position. Press 2 if you think we improved at the running back position. Press 3 if you think it was secondary. Press 4 if you think it was defensive front. We left the offensive line out because we only picked one offensive lineman that I think, and we've already addressed that we think is already an improvement. Not only that, our poll will not allow us to put a 5th topic. So we have to do 4. And I picked these 4 as probably the best that we can go and attack. 33 people in here watching us right now. I think we could probably drum up at least 20 votes in the next 30 seconds. I'll give you 30 seconds to go. Do not put a comment with your selection. Just hit 1, 2, 3, or 4, or who you think it is. If you have a comment because you want to share with us what your category is and why, just give us a second comment. We'll respond to that. So back to the chat. You guys get after it. Duncan?
Please press 5 if you want Jay Downs to repeat those options.
Oh, quit it. We're not doing that stuff.
Número 6 en español.
Yeah. But Frank Weber was coming in talking about Trey Zune. Isn't that kid a bit short to play offensive tackle in the NFL? His height, no. His arm length is a little bit shorter than what you would normally want in a starting tackle in the NFL. But for me, Trey Zune reminds me a lot of a little quiz time for the chat. A offensive lineman who used to play for the Chiefs and last year ended up going to the Bears. If you guys can
name that?
Yeah.
We'll give you a hint. THU is the first 3 letters of his name.
Yeah. But that's who Zune reminds me of a bit, is with his versatility, he can play very well in any of the offensive line roles that is asked of him.
But I'm going to help Frankie out here, Frankie Weber, because he's my guy here. There is one thing that he does have that is very crucial to left tackle, and he's got the right trunk. So in other words, from his hips to his butt to his thighs to his calf, he's 6'6", 315. That's good size, right? Yep. As far as height and length. But his overall, it's just for some reason the T-Rex arms come in, and they're not real short, but they're just short. They're just at that level to where you want them a little bit longer. So when you open that gate, you set your base with that left foot, you go to make your punch, it gives you a little bit more reach on your punch. Yeah. So you don't have to let the defender get in close to you to make that punch. You can actually make it at a wider angle. So
real quick, I'm going to fire through these chats, try to get us caught up. If one sticks out to you, go ahead and stop me, and then we'll see how that poll went. And just real quick, this is our poll.
We're down to 10 seconds. Only. 10 seconds, guys. 10 seconds.
Okay. I do want to bring up a couple from Raiders Unleashed and Jack Kenna right now talking about Mike Washington. I think we haven't really touched.
We're going to get to Mike Washington. In fact, he's the next one. Let's get through this poll real quick. And then and we're going to go ahead and end the poll now. The time is up. Thanks to you guys that voted on that. And we're coming right in to that's the next topic, Washington Jr.
Yep.
So having picked this Arkansas running back, where we picked him, I saw him in a peripheral because we had the all 30 visit with him. Okay. And there was a lot of good things that came out of that all 30 visit that they were talking about. And then you see his tape as well as how he's built, how he plays, his strengths, just overall the asset that he could be to our team. My biggest knock on him is he played at Arkansas. That's the biggest knock, really, in all. But he still played at a high level in the SEC as a running back. And Chris, and Duncan, finding a running back in the SEC and putting them on your team, good things usually happen. What do you say, Chris?
Oh, yeah. I definitely think I'm still surprised that we ended up getting him. Like I said, I thought he was going to be on a lot earlier. Kid has speed. The kid has size. Definitely, I think the perfect complement to Gent's style. And I think with this revamped offensive line now, the fact that we have someone competent as the offensive line coach, because I definitely feel that was our big,
John Leon.
our big, that was our big issue last year. It's really beginning me flashbacks to the most recent I could think of is the McFadden Bush days in which we had that 1-2 punch. Now, was it the best? No, but it was fun to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And you brought up Arkansas running back McFadden, if I'm not mistaken, was an Arkansas running back. So it's like, we've had at least a good track record getting our running backs out of Arkansas there. Yeah. So definitely, I'm still surprised that we ended up getting him with a running back of that speed, size, and talent. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, as far as Mike Washington goes, the biggest thing that surprised me with a big running back like him is he's got great vision. Like watching his tape in that zone scheme that Arkansas has, like they didn't have the greatest
zone scheme Arkansas.
Yeah, they didn't have the greatest blocking at Arkansas going against that SEC talent, and the guy is very patient when he's running, and he's not just sitting there waiting. Like he's gaining ground as he's patient, and then all of a sudden he just takes off. Yeah. Like he is watching his O-line, he's watching the defense coming at him, he's seeing how it unfolds, and he's going. Yeah. And that's very encouraging to see coming out of college, just the vision and the patience this guy has when he runs with the athletic talent that he has.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw a couple observations in there myself, going back and watching him. I didn't really watch him. He's probably one of the few. I watched him one game for about 5-10 minutes, saw it was being a blowout. But once we picked him that night, I went back and I watched some of his stuff. And one of my observations that I really like, number one, his hands. He's got big hands. His grip on that ball is phenomenal, and it also parlays into his catching out of the backfield. And if you watch him catching out of the backfield, it's immediate. His top end speed, fourth gear, is nice.
Yeah,
and that's something we need because Genty doesn't really have a fourth gear. He's like, if he's got a good angle with top, and he's at top end, he can. He's more going to power through the defender trying to tackle him in the open field versus just run around him. Just put your foot in the ground and go, and that's where Washington Jr. Now, Duncan, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
I'm going to piss off some of Raider Nation. I might make Raider Rebel happy with this because he's in Arkansas. He can change his name to Arkansas Raider right now. We'd know exactly who he is. Raider Rebel, salute to you, brother. I'm going to make this. If Washington Jr. performs, comes into the next level, takes his game to that same or just a little bit above, I could see him being our RB1. Did I just piss some people off?
Yeah.
I think you pissed off Jack Kenna.
Did I just piss some people off? Now, am I saying that's going to happen? It remains to be seen. Because if you bring in Coach 805, Coach Gravy, and all these guys, a lot of these guys that watch film, and we take last year's draft and we compare it to this draft, and we compare the two players in and of itself. We know last year at the 6th pick, we probably should have waited to about the 3rd, 4th round to get a running back based on the composite of our team at that point. Right. Well, the composite of the team last year isn't a whole lot different than this year, minus a couple people that we added. Right. And then our free agency. Now you go, okay, you're taking a running back, a legit top tier talent running back in the 4th round with his size, his speed, how he fits the run zone, the wide zone scheme. Chris, argue with me, my friend.
You bring up good points. I can't deny that. And it's going to be hard to really make a decision until we see them both on the field and see how they perform. I love Genty. I think Genty's special. I think he can be that generational talent. His the way he moves through the line, the way he just pushes people over, does remind me a lot of a Lynch. But Washington, I'm gonna it hurts, but I'm gonna agree with you. I think Washington can threaten. I do think Washington can threaten, and it would hurt because that would be obviously a waste of a first round pick if Genty doesn't get to that level that we think he could be at. That's just going to make the value of Mike Washington just go up even higher. The fact that we got him in the fourth round.
Mm-hmm.
Some comments quick to the chat that was popping out. They were mentioning also we picked up Roman Hemby as a undrafted free agent, and they were saying three-headed monster, and I love that idea of a three-headed monster. So it's gonna. For me, I'm gonna have to wait to the season. I got to see what's going on, and if Washington does perform over Genty, then we might have to capitalize on possibly maybe getting something for him. Looking at a team that doesn't need a running back that you think is going to draft a running back. Hey, Genty, we got Genty. You want to throw us a couple first round picks like a Max Crosby deal we could have had? I don't know.
I don't think anybody's going to give up first round capital thing, especially next year.
Yeah, it's just a theoretical idea. Do I want all of them to succeed? Yes, because if we look at Kubiak and what he did in Seattle, he had multiple good running backs. He had Charbonnet, he had Kenneth Walker, and that was just a monster 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Charbonnet was the number one, but Walker was he was 1B.
Yeah. If we can have that with Genty and Washington. You know what? Let's throw in Roman Hemby in there. I know a lot of people they preferred Kalen Black over Roman Hemby, but let's throw him in there. Maybe as the 2. We have a 1A, 1B, and a 2.
Yep. This is where Hemby's gonna be that goal line specialist.
Yeah,
and that's what he really excelled at Indiana. Duncan, my take, your opinion.
The thing is with Washington is he has the talent to surpass Genty, but he's not going to. Genty's just way better of an all-around running back. I mean, he simply put, Genty just in the past game alone, not even receiving, he blocks really well. Genty will sell his body to save the quarterback. And then you do get into the passing game, and Genty's got great hands for a running back. He's a little bit underutilized. I mean, especially last year, because let's face it, last year was a disaster. But Genty is a very, very safe pass catcher when it comes to getting out into the flats and linebacker depth also. And Genty, as much as I like Washington's vision, it's nowhere near Genty's vision. Genty has that spring in his step to get lateral, move around a lot better, a lot more fluidly. And he's a lot harder to tackle than Washington. Washington has a big body, so he's going to take a lot more of a beating. Genty's a little shifty, sly guy, and he really knows how to get off of those tackles without taking too much damage. And just simply put, Washington is not the complete player that Genty is, but he's a great lightning to Genty's thunder. And he's going to be able to spell Genty quite a bit, especially in the goal line zones where they're probably going to try to use Genty or Washington's big size a lot more. So that may be where the fantasy football players get a little pissed off, is Genty's getting all these yards and not getting the touchdowns because Washington goes in.
Well, I could see him. I could really see him be really specializing in the short yardage in Indiana. So that was his big calling card. He got a lot of yards. Don't get me wrong. But there was a lot, like the second goal, third and goal. Hemby was the dude because it's just his power. But I'm going back to Washington and Genty. Okay. And the reason why I said what I said is because Washington is going to be coming in already familiar with that wide zone scheme. Okay. So he's going to have that upper hand. There's a different aspect to the wide zone scheme from a running back position, and that is because can we agree? Just one word answer. Genty hits fourth gear before he gets to the offensive line. He's pretty much hitting fourth gear, right? He's right there. His speed before getting to the offensive line is pretty much the same as what it is at the second level. Agree or disagree?
He's just got smoother acceleration. And it's like Jack Kenna says, is Genty has a very good stop-start. Washington is more of a straight line runner.
Yeah.
Washington he builds his speed versus having instant speed, and he builds his speed. And if you go back historically with the wide zone scheme at the different type of running backs that Denver brought in to run that, and were all pro bowlers. It's like every year they had like a UDFA or a third or a sixth rounder come in and be the rushing for 1,500 yards in that wide zone scheme. Is because it kind of fits that same mold, right? To where there's a lot of patience, there's good vision, quick decision. They're making the right decision and the quick decision based off how the block is. Because remember, wide zone scheme is the blockers blocking a zone, not a man. So they have to get to a certain area, establish themselves, and then the running back has to dictate how that block occurs. And so with the vision and just having that patience, Le'Veon Bell was a perfect. We talked about that earlier. Le'Veon Bell with Pittsburgh was a perfect example of that. I thought Le'Veon Bell was a little too patient myself. That some of it was like, dude, are you gonna run? You look like a little leaguer in Pop Warner trying. Should I go or do I wait till my mom yells at me to go, 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 go? You know.
I'm just curious to see who is going to be the better running back in terms of wearing down the defense, because we know that Genty is a thumper. Genty will wear down that defense, and then obviously Washington can come in and capitalize on that worn-out defense. Not saying Genty can't do that as well, but I'm curious to see who's going to do it better.
I think it'll probably be relied more on Genty to do most of the carrying. Like Kubiak said, is he wants multiple backs to split the workload over the season, but Genty will be the primary guy. But it's also not necessarily on the running back. It's on that offensive line. They got to get after it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not getting after people in that run game. Simply put, they're not doing their job. They're going to end up hurting the pass game because of it, because once again, for a third straight year, we're going to be one-dimensional in the offense. So the whole offensive line and the running back need to get after people.
Yeah. So let's get back up here. I think I'm not Bueno. Let me know. Hey, Bueno, let me know if you unsubbed to my channel, because I think I pissed you off. Or just open the refrigerator door and close it real quick. That'll let me know as well. But salute to Bueno. Another one coming in. Welcome in, Hades Gates. Old school football. Wear that defense down. Yeah. In the run game, when you talk Kubiak and wide zone with Rick Dennison, yes, that run game is going to have to be and will be special. And ladies and gentlemen, I think now this is only in April, going into May, but who out there in Chatland thinks that we did not improve, even without playing a single game? Because we all saw what we had last year, right? And literally, there's no more going down. You can't go any lower than what we were last year. So we're going up, right? The trick to this is how much are we going up? And how much are we going to surprise? How much are the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos right now are thinking, oh, crap, Kubiak in a run game. We got to deal with that crap. Forget Mendoza. Let's talk about the run game. How effective is that run game going to be?
I honestly still feel that we've improved
I'm with Jeff. But sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I just say I still see us as we were the team that improved the most compared to the rest of us in the division.
No. Yeah, and I know the skipper's a little pessimistic sometimes, not optimistic, which is fine. But in the long run, you got to admit that we did improve, right? Now, and I agree with Jeff. You have to wait until the season starts, till the pads come on and the whistle's blown, right? So you really do. And I know sometimes you got to tamper your hopes a little bit. And even though I'm on this show right now with you guys and I seem excited and jovial, I'm still in that ballpark of, you know what, you just can't get caught up in any of this stuff. Just let it play out. Enjoy the moment for what it is. But until week 3, week 4, because that's usually where we kind of balance where we're at as a team, right? Until week 3 and week 4 to where we can put our thumb on it and really identify it and have an identity and know whatever our identity is. Right now, we're just playing what ifs.
Yeah.
But that's fun. That's why we're here, right? That's why we're doing these shows.
Real quick, Money Chuck took so long to react to you talking about Washington possibly surpassing Genty. I think he threw his phone and had to recover it.
I knew I was going to piss some people off. I just wanted to throw that out there. If you really want my honest take, he's going to be RB2. He is.
Mike Love, feel
Genty,
like I'm watching Pawn Stars. Are you saying we're a hit show? I'll take it.
Best I could do is 7 and 9.
I'm not putting a number on it. I'm tired of that shit. I don't really care. I don't really care. I don't care about the number. I don't care about that. I
was just making a Pawn Star joke. How he goes, best I can do is this. Best I can do is that. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. I apologize, Chris. I apologize for interrupting you on that, but I thought you were just throwing a prediction out there, and we'll make predictions come August and September when we start to really see what we're actually doing. But even then, we have to tamper down what we see in preseason. Yes, we've seen undefeated preseason games, and we go 2-14. So we'll just leave it at that. But let's see. We pretty much covered Zune. Let's dig into Crawford just a little bit before we get going anymore. Do you think with Crawford that he elevates Max a little bit?
Possibly. I think it's going to be a committee to help elevate Max or Max elevate them between Quiddy Pay, Kuntz, and Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
I think all three of them are going to have a crack at really improving this pass rush that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I do agree with that. I definitely think it's gonna drive Max to go harder because he's gonna see that we're actually investing in the position around him. So I think he's definitely gonna see that, like, all right, they're actually this regime is actually putting in the work to give me some help. So let's see how they can do it. I see Crawford more as a upgrade over Kuntz for sure, because I love Kuntz. Don't get me wrong. I know he's got the ability, but I think this is more of like, hey, Kuntz, you're on notice now. We got this young buck coming in. Perform, or this 1 year contract that we gave you again, that's it with us.
Mm-hmm.
Something to think about. Quiddy Pay, we know how good he can be. So honestly, I need to see when the official depth chart kicks in to what the plan is with Crawford, because like I said, I get to see him being an outside linebacker. I'm not 100% sure what Max is going to be. Is he going to be D end? Is he going to kick back to outside linebacker? I don't think I've ever seen Max play that outside linebacker position. So I'm going to need a little bit more information there. But my initial thought, this is more like Kuntz. You're on notice. We have someone coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
no,
and that's where I kind of lean in on this as well. Is number one, you already have they attempted to trade him, right? And then now he comes back, which is I'm fine with it. How it worked out. And God bless to Baltimore. I hope you guys suck. Thank you very much. But having said that, he also has to see it's like, okay, I'm getting at that point now that my franchise and my beloved franchises not only did that, attempted to trade me away, which I think is more at his request than what people think, but that's to be determined. But having, drafted Crawford, signed Quiddy Pay, re-signed Kuntz, Snowden, bring in now, but also too, there's a part of this draft that I know Jack Cannon mentioned it, but I don't know if anybody else caught it. There was an addition by subtraction in this whole movement. Can you tell me what that was, Chris?
The Tyree Wilson trade, if I'm not mistaken.
We hadn't got anything out of that number 7 pick. It sucks that we had to get late round. We got 2 late round picks for him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool.
It was,
But at the same time, I don't think we were getting what we drafted him for. And it was, I'll be honest with you, it was time. After this last year, it was time to move on.
what was the year Tyree got drafted again?
3 years ago. 2023. So this would have been his 4th year with us. So 2023 under the Ziegler regime, McDaniel and Ziegler.
Yeah,
So,
and looking at that, we could have possibly gotten, now obviously we could have possibly gotten a Christian Gonzalez from that. We could have gotten a JSN, and I agree. I would put that on the zigzag McDumbass regime for that one.
no.
Real quick, in the chat, we got an Arnie Garza coming in with 2 different questions. Question was your favorite pick after Mendoza, and what is the worst pick of the draft?
Mm-hmm.
Jason, you want to answer your favorite pick?
My favorite pick after Mendoza was Zoom at 91. Was it a reach? Yeah, but I don't give a shit. He's a good player.
Yeah, he is. Very good player.
I don't get graded. I don't get paid whether we pick at 91 or 102. So I don't give a damn. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But that kid is, let me tell you, man, he's good. And it was, like I said, going back to that game in which they did a player profile on him, and I'm sitting there and then I start watching him. I'm like, oh my God, this is good. And then I watched him when they played Florida, and I was like, holy crap, he's good. His base is solid. It's like nobody could get, and even if you did get the edge on him, he just pushed you right out of the picture.
Chris, who was your favorite pick after Mendoza?
I'm gonna agree with, who was it that said it?
McCoy. Roll the
Jack
dice.
Cannon. With Jack Cannon. I think my favorite pick was McCoy. The first round talent. In the 4th round, sure, he's got that injury. But if that thing heals and that doesn't be a problem, we could have a shutdown corner. We could have hit a grand slam with that one.
Mm-hmm.
And with the need of our cornerback room, I think this draft could end up producing starters for the next generation. In terms of worst pick, what sucks is I'm gonna go with my initial thought was the other safety we picked up, but after thinking about it a little bit, the fact that he has chemistry with Stooks, that could be our cornerback duo. But just for did we really need to get another secondary? Because Chin is still good, but at the time I would say the other safety would be probably my least favorite.
Who is your least favorite, Jason?
The Stooks trade, or the Stooks pick, would be it's my worst pick because of how it all transpired with McDonald. Because everybody knows out there in Raider Nation that McDonald was probably the hit. And he fell to us at 36. And for somebody with his talent, his caliber of play, and the type of person he is, his work ethic, the whole 9 yards, and how he plays the game, is to have a guy like that fall to us at 36 at a position of need, not only best player available, but position of need. And then we trade back 2 picks and we get Stooks at safety. Now, bouncing off of what Chris was just talking about, if you go back and you look at Arizona's secondary, is just like Texas Tech's front 7 and Missouri's front 7. I think we could have picked anybody out of that secondary and it was a hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I question the value of the pick at 38. That's fine, but I'm going to stand tall. If that's the guy that you want, I don't get paid to make those picks. Spytech does, so I don't give a shit. If he suits up and he plays and he helps us win ball games, so be it. Because you guys all know, every once in a while, it sucks to whiff on your top picks, but sometimes if you see a guy, you like a guy, and you might have him at 63 or 55, but you want to go up at 38 and get him, just do it. I would rather you be aggressive and take that chance than sit there and wait and wait and wait for him to fall to you. Yeah. And when he doesn't fall to you, then you're like, okay, now what? Now you screwed yourself up.
Yeah. And that pick, like I mentioned, it could have been McDonald, could have been Boston, could have been EMW, but you know what? They were the Stooks. Nothing we could do about it. We just have to hope and pray he's got a great career.
Yeah, I think the thing with Stooks though is he can play the nickel a little bit more. So, and that's a plus. And having nickel backers is it's a dime a dozen with two nickels, right?
Oh yeah.
So if you got two guys on your roster that can play nickel, then so be it. You're ahead of the curve.
Yeah. My favorite pick, honestly, is McCoy. I mean, that gamble with a 4th round pick, I love it. McCoy is in the same conversation for me personally with Caleb Banks, as without the injuries, they're easily top 10 picks. Like, they're that good of a talent. And being able to get McCoy in the 4th round is just, it makes me so ecstatic in like the possibilities that he could have. As far as worst pick, I probably have to say the returner that we got in the the 6th round,
Malik Benson.
Yeah, which also to me kind of says a lot that I'm picking on a 6th round pick instead of one of the higher picks, just because I like the draft. Mm-hmm. But I also kind of had some bias in the Discord where I liked 2 other players and at that pick than who we took. I liked Heidenreich, the receiver out of Navy. And then I also liked that D tackle out of Georgia Tech, who ended up going a little bit before our last pick in the 7th round. But honestly, we need an electric returner. If he ends up being that, great.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And then Arnie Garza's second question is, what is your grade on the Tyree Wilson trade?
Mine, A+ on the trade. I mean, it's a C minus if you correlate where we drafted him 3 years ago. But sometimes you just got to go, you know what? Got to cut your losses, man. I know it doesn't taste good on the front side, but it's like, you know what? It does 2 things. One, it's like instead of trying to spend more resources to try and develop him in year 4, when in year 3 we didn't see anything that showed development, right? Then it's time you go, okay, let's see if this guy can. It's like Clee Farrell, the same thing. Yeah. I think we exercised so much as what we could put into him. We weren't getting a return on investment. So let's see what we can get and cut bait with him and move on and start to focus more of our attention on newer, younger guys to see if we can develop. I mean, that it comes down. That's what it comes down to. And I don't think Tyree was doing anything extra to improve his craft. And those are things that if you want to be an edge rusher, those are things that you have to do. Show up to that edge rusher camp that Von Miller puts on. Do those things. Get with Max and do your. When you do your physical exercises and your weightlifting, make it correspond with the position that you're playing. Yeah. So those are some of the things that some of the things I think was really good is to go ahead and move on. And maybe, in all fairness, Tyree Wilson, I hope you have a good career moving forward. I want you to succeed. There's nothing wrong with that. Prove us wrong. Prove to us we did you wrong and you didn't do wrong by us.
I'm for
and
that.
I'm okay with that. So we're coming in hot here with another chat. Sorry, I blocked you on the horizontal. You guys on the horizontal, those guys on the vertical. You're probably only seeing our foreheads at this time, but I'm bringing you guys in the chat another poll. What grade would you give this draft? Now, remember, don't add a comment to the vote. Just pick a number. 1 is A for A grade. 2 is B grade. C is a 3 is a C grade. 4 is D or F. If you pick 4, send us another chat with the letter grade that you picked, and we'll discuss it in the chat. So, and let you guys get in there, man. There's 44 of you guys in there. I know you guys got a keyboard. You're watching, you're listening. Hit that number, hit send. Let us know what you got. Also, to Arnie Garza, thanks for coming in, brother. I forgot to give you the shout out there. But here's our poll. Let it roll. Chris, what's your take on the poll?
I think it's an A plus. Well, not an A plus. I should take that back. I think it's an A. I think it's a solid A. Mm-hmm. I think we did, after taking some time processing who we got, I think it's solid. I think we greatly improved on secondary, which, other than quarterback, and looking at it, I don't think people were showing the amount of need that we needed in the secondary. So obviously, getting a lot of our picks, if I'm not sure, like almost a third of our picks were for the secondary. I think we greatly improved there, and I think it was enough to push it to an A for me. I was kind of leaning more towards B plus, but the fact that we got some dogs in the secondary now, we haven't even really talked about him, but Hezekiah Masses, could be just as good too. I think paired with Porter, I think that was a huge improvement for something that we need help with. So that's why I went A.
How about you, Dunk?
I went with a solid B, because a lot of the picks we ended up getting kind of correlate with guys we already have on our roster, but all those guys have only 1 year remaining on their contract. So we take these guys, we go through this whole year, figure out if we can keep them and play them over the guys that we're going to have to pay. Well, all of a sudden we don't have to pay those guys. They move on. Now we got even more money for free agency next year. All these picks gave us the ability to stack money for next year,
right? And
possibly find some breakout guys too. And most of these guys were high production guys in college too, on top of their athleticism. I know most of Raider Nation was starting to catch on that we were drafting high RAS scores, but these guys also produced in college too, so that's huge. So I think it's a solid B. If McCoy works out, that easily pushes it to an A.
Yeah. So I voted 2 as well, and along the same lines of what you're talking about there, Duncan, is reason I'm at a B is because, and this is on paper, and it's all skepticism and optimism all combined at the same time. But I'm looking at it from a standpoint that the way we drafted and the picks that we picked were for future impact. So not a whole lot of immediate impact. That includes Fernando, right? Yeah. You go 1 all the way through the 7th round. I don't think any of our picks we took with the intent of being that day 1 go-to badass, right? If I could say that, I hope I didn't offend anybody with the vulgarity, but if that's kind of my position, that's why I'm going with the B. I would go A if we took McDonald, say, at 3, and then maybe picked up a wide receiver 1 or a high output wide receiver 2 with the 67th pick. And that's kind of where I was leaning, that I thought we would address that more immediate. But the mere fact that they were real aggressive, and we got not only we got quality players, but we got a good, decent amount of volume for the secondary. That just really helps. So shout out to Dixon Sider coming in. What's up, brother?
Let's get a picture.
Yeah. That's a gift that keeps on giving right there. Yeah. Let me tell you.
Ernie Garza had another question. After the draft in UDFA, what is our weakest position group? For me, now it's easily receiver, and I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah.
My reasoning being is I was kind of the fan of punt the receiver group to next year and take a receiver from the stack class in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm for that.
Yeah, because you got Jonah Williams, Nick Harbor, a lot of good guys that are going to be coming out next year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
hopefully Tokyo Toe can go and win that spot and be better than Carlson. So that way we can't say kicker's our worst position. That's one position you don't want to be your worst position. If you cannot make field goals consistently, you're in trouble.
That's someone I am rooting for to take that starting job. Once I heard about that, I did some research into him. Like, Tokyo Toe, who's that? I did some research into him, and I'm like, holy cow, this could be something crazy. Who else but the Raiders to get another foreign kicker? We had the Polish cannon in Sebastian Janikowski. Now we got Tokyo Toe. You know, I'm for it. I want him. I want him to be our starting kicker. I hope he does well. Also, I know I was talking with JD before the stream. I'm like, if he makes it, that jersey is gonna sell a lot in Japan. That's gonna be a good business opportunity there, especially if they do if the NFL allows him to wear the Japanese katakana or hiragana for his last game on the back. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah. That would be very cool. Jason, your answer for the question?
After drafting UDFA, what is our weakest position? Interior defensive line still.
Now, Dixon Sider also mentioned, I don't like that we didn't address the receiver and D-tackle until the 6th and 7th round. One thing I want to comment on that is, one, like I said before about the receiver position, I was fine kicking it until next year. The other thing is with the interior D-line is we have so many NFL caliber guys, like not necessarily top-end starter guys, but guys that are worthy of an NFL position in our interior D-line room. And quite a few of them, I believe, have their contracts running out after this year. So it kind of ends up being a waste to draft a D-tackle just to kick one of them out. So it ends up being okay that we didn't focus on that D-tackle spot, so we can also focus on that next year and also see how the current guys work out in this new system we're going to be running.
And one thing that I noticed in chat, Jack Kenna, I believe, was the one who posted this. Apparently, they're moving Laki Tassi back to D-tackle, nose tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to see how that develops because that kid is massive, and I hope he does well. So, if he can fill up that D-tackle, nose tackle position, I'm going to be very happy for that kid.
Raider Nation coming in for Tyree. Al Davis told Matt Millen, "You can still play football in the NFL. You just can't play for the Raiders."
Yeah, that actually did happen, but Al Davis still had mad respect for Matt Millen. There was a point in time that it started to be, he became a liability in the passing game, especially as other teams started to develop tight ends and start using tight ends a little bit more. It made it hard for him. He just could not cover the pass. He was great downhill linebacker still. He went to San Francisco and Washington and still won a Super Bowl with each team. So, and he was a key factor in all those defenses. So it is what it is. I like the quote, though. I like the quote, Raider Nation. Let's see where we at here.
In our segments.
It's nice to see that you pulled up. We got the poll still showing, ladies and gentlemen, or just gentlemen with no ladies. That's why you're here. What grade would you give this draft? Press 1 if you give it an A. Press 2 for a B. Press 3 for a C. 4 for D or F. If you give it an F, then send us a different comment as to why you graded it as an F.
I'd also like to hear the comment from the people saying a C. I don't want to argue with them. I just want to see why they're thinking it's a C.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of give us a reason. Then there's no bad take to it. There's no bad take to it because
I like seeing the different perspectives too.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's the reasoning? Helps me think about it a little differently, and I just enjoy seeing different opinions on it.
Yeah. Since we were talking about the defensive line for a little bit there, let's talk about Cleveland from North Carolina State. He's got really good tape. There's no question about it. And he was very impactful on that defensive line. How much of that is going to translate to the NFL? For what you see or the knowledge that you have, how much of that is going to translate to the NFL, Duncan?
That one's tough for me because a lot of the tape I saw on him, he wasn't getting a lot of double teams that he had to beat. He was getting a lot of one-on-one blocking, and he was able to make plays because of it. So if he's able to consistently make plays when he is only being blocked by one person, then that's great because then eventually teams are going to have to focus on him. Mm-hmm. Him being a 7th-round pick, there's not a lot of capital in him to being forced to play. So he's going to have to really fight in the offseason to get a chance.
Yeah.
Chris?
About the same. 7th-round draft pick. Could be a depth piece. Could be something special. Don't know.
No.
And I'm kind of on the mindset that, maybe we should have addressed it a little bit earlier, but the way the board fell, the way the national dice rolls, prove me wrong. Please do.
Yeah. And I truly see him as being a practice squad player, at least this year. I'm hoping that's not the case, but when you start drafting 6th and 7th rounds, that's all you're drafting those guys that you like, you want them to come in, compete, and hopefully you go, wow, I think we got something here. And then by the 3rd preseason game or going into the regular season game, it makes it that much harder to cut off the roster because it's you start to build a really good team when you have difficult cuts. If you have easy cuts, then you ain't got much to play with. That's for sure. And I know the boss came in here. He selects 4, see me in 3 years. Okay. The only reason why I do this is not so much because it's just my vision for grading the draft is how we attack the draft. And to be quite honest with you, the way Spytech went about doing his business, I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness in day 3.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something to think about is now that Pete Carroll's gone, was last year's draft more a Pete Carroll controlled draft, and this is Spytech now taking it? It's just something to think about,
If you look at the 2nd round, it was identical to last year. He just didn't make that second. He didn't pull the trigger on the 2nd trade back.
That's fair. That's fair.
He left good talent. He left good talent on the board. I just wonder, in a roundabout way, if he thought McDonald was going to fall to 38, he was still going to get an extra 3rd round pick. Thought he would sneak an extra 3rd round pick. I hope he didn't get played by the Houston Texans because we did, as you know, and I said it in the previous show that at 38, Houston was a previous trade partner with us. And when the trade went through, I was like, here we go again. It is almost identical to last year. And then sure enough, that's what happened. We trade back 2 spots and we passed on. And I know you cannot tell me they did not have Cade McDonald up on their board right there as the number 1. You cannot. And if they didn't, please let me know. Is there something I'm missing that you wouldn't take him at 36?
I'm curious to know if the agreement to trade up was, hey, are you going to take Cade McDonald? No, we're not. Okay, fine. We'll make the trade. Sucks to be you. We lied.
And guess what?
That'd been a thing.
They ain't trading with them no more.
I think ultimately there's a group of players that they liked at 36 where they're comfortable trading back a few spots and just taking who was left.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, you don't trade back if you're not in a group of players that you really like.
Yeah.
I know some people don't like that strategy. They're like, no, you always take the best player out of that group. But if you're getting value later on because you're picking up picks like we did or swap picks, then you take it because there's other players that you like later in the draft too. Real quick, we got a bunch of catching up to do in the chat. Arnie Garza came in with another question. It seems like all of our picks are replacement picks for Wilson, Glaze, Tucker, IPM, Chen, Washington, 2nd running back to Genty. Yeah, I agree with that. That seems more like a statement to me, but I agree with that. Like I said, the safeties we got, they can end up being our long-term safeties after IPM and Chen's contracts run out. A lot of our picks did seem like really good, strong players that could eventually take over spots of contracts that are running out.
No.
Greg Rilla, nice seeing you. Salute. I think he was answering Arnie's question from earlier. I would say D-line, receiver, and linebacker are weakest positions.
I wouldn't say linebacker.
I can see linebacker because of depth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Depth, I'll run with you on depth. But as far as weakness being still a weakness, I think that's going to be a strength the way we addressed it in the free agency. But that's contingent on injuries as well.
Yeah,
I would still fight that. I would still fight that at free agency when we picked up Dean and Walker. We have the two best middle linebackers in the league.
We definitely have one of the most dangerous linebacker duos with those two, but they also both have injury histories. Walker not as much as Dean, but still, with our lack of depth there, it is concerning, and I can understand why you would say linebacker is a weakness.
No.
Arnie Garza coming in with another question. Who's your favorite UDFA for this year? I think I can answer for Chris and myself. I don't know about Jason, but Tokyo Toe.
Tokyo Toe.
I'm going to go Himby. I'm going to throw a curveball. I'll go Himby.
Yeah. Also, honorable mention for me is the receiver out of BYU. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but I did like his tape.
No.
Tokyo Toe's longest kick is 52 yards. That's a little concerning, but it is also in a very, very humid state in Hawaii where that can kind of hold the ball back a little bit. Not that I'm a kicking expert at all. I am not.
That BYU receiver is Chase Roberts.
Thank you. Yes,
okay.
Chase Roberts. 80s coming in. Greatest thing we did was this coaching staff. I agree. Especially the offensive line coach. So McCoy's surgery is going to take a full year of rehab. That is if he needs it, because he is technically healthy right now. He's going to get into the building. They're going to come up with a game plan with the Raiders medical staff on if they want him to take that surgery or not. I'm going to hint that they're going to push it back, let him do all the offseason programs, see how he is, keep checking on it, and then they'll make their decision probably before the preseason games start.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I would say a week to 2 weeks before the preseason games start, kind of watch out for what his injury status is.
No. And having said that, he did have pro day with no setbacks. He's had other drill activity with no setbacks. Total evaluations are coming back 100%. No inflammation. But it is the concern of it could be an issue with that plug later on down the road, or whether or not to address it now or later. That's the question that I have is it better to do it sooner than wait till it becomes an inflammation, an irritation, or degeneration issue, or do it now, or wait till it becomes that? That's the only question that I have, because if the experts say you're better off to do it now before it becomes a problem, then do it now. You're 20 years old, man. It wouldn't hurt you. I know you missed the 2025 season, but it wouldn't hurt you to do it one more time. You're still going to be in the building. You're still going to be getting all this stuff. And maybe, just maybe, what you did in 2024 into 2027 is just that much better.
Yeah. My only concern is if they push for the surgery, like pretty much instantly, is he will then basically have 2 full seasons of not playing football.
That's what I was talking about.
But like you said, he is 20 years old. Usually, like when you're talking about players like this, they're like late 20s, 27, 20, 29, and then they miss a full 1 or 2 seasons, and then they're never the same again. Him being at 20 could be the determining factor on if he can bounce back if they do push for the surgery sooner rather than later. Greg Lira saying, I figure our coaches see that we took D-tackle and receivers last year in last year's draft. That's a possibility. We do have a very deep defensive tackle roster, and we did spend 2 quality picks on receivers last year.
Yeah.
kind of don't want to force the issue there quite yet, just because there's such big question marks.
That's definitely my thought, because we got Besh. He's a great possession receiver. He's got smooth routes. We got to see how he develops. Obviously, last season when we picked up Tyler Lockett, that hurt a lot of the development from him.
Yeah, I hated that pickup because it did not benefit our team at all.
And we still have Dante Thornton Jr. Obviously, a lot of us knew coming out he's going to be a project piece.
Yeah,
kid's 6'5", runs a 4.3, can't teach size and speed, and I think this is going to be the system that unlocks it. We did pick up Jalen Naylor as well. That guy's got something special underneath him too. So let's roll with what we got, see what happens.
Yeah. Jason, you pulled up Jeff's comment. Honestly, thinking what I'm seeing from Raider fans is that people do their mocks, and when they see the Raiders draft people who they don't know, they think Spytech and Cruz suck at drafting. Honestly, that was me instant reaction when the picks happened. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, beginning of the show, after sleeping on it through the night and then like looking back and seeing what the picks actually were, not the players, but the actual position and how they played and their versatility. It's like, okay, they picked players that exactly fit the description I was saying that we needed to go after on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Versatile players that can fill multiple roles that do have a strength that they can rely on.
Yeah. And then also too, when we got into the fourth round and started to see the fourth and fifth round picks, then the second and third round kind of made sense a little bit more too, and it tasted a little bit better. So it wasn't so much that, I mean, it in all honesty, Raider Nation, it was a McDonald thing. And it's the same. We go back to Jalen Carter. We could have had Jalen Carter, right? Yeah. Now the Jalen Carter thing, I agree with Mark Davis. You have to have principles in your organization. Sometimes you have to punt on a pick, even though between the lines he's probably going to be a beast. But you got to look outside the lines as well. And does he represent the organization the way we want? And having the situation that he was in, it was too soon it's too close to the Henry Ruggs situation as well. And we're new to Las Vegas, so we're trying to build a fan base in Las Vegas. We're trying to build a community function, and to go around and do that, that's Mike Vrabel stuff right there, dude. You just gotta punt on it and let it go. Just let it go. As much as it hurts, you gotta let that go. But with the McDonald thing, I was the same way. I was like, okay, this was not that case. He fell to us at 36. There's no reason why we shouldn't have taken him.
No.
But I'm not mad at Stooks. I'm not mad. I'm not mad that we took him, and I will stand 10 toes down that if that's who you want, and you want to go up and get. I don't care. You're not paying me to make the pick. My mock drafts ain't nobody eating off my mock drafts. So who cares, right?
And the players we have now are Raiders, and we're going to fully support them.
Yeah, if they cared to listen to us, we'd be in the building.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be doing YouTube with YouTube knuckleheads. I'd be over Henderson making real money.
Yeah.
Arne Garza coming in with another banger question. Which current roster player is on the bubble to not make the roster due to draft or UDFA? I will give you two. I'll give you one on the offense and one.
No, me first. Me first. Okay. Me first on that. Polamalu. Okay, you can go.
I disagree with Polamalu. My two are Dylan Lobby on the offensive side, and then DCam Richardson on the defensive side.
Yeah.
I'm also going to go. I'm going to actually combine both of you guys. I'm going to say Lauby and Polamalu. I'm actually going to say Lauby and Collier. I think Hemby's going to make the team.
Yeah.
I see Stooks taking over with Polamalu quickly. And another thing to throw out there, I'll throw out one more. I'm going to look at the wide receiver rooms. I think Benson's going to make the team, and we did pick up that other wide receiver from Indiana, EJ Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So Tucker, we love him. He might be on notice. This is Tucker's last year. If he doesn't shine, and our two young guys, Benson, Williams, heck, I'll even throw out the guys that we got last year. Rice, I know he's the son of Jerry Rice. Brendan Rice, Shedrick Jackson. those guys show up. You know, I think
Can't count them out. You can't count them out in competition for a roster spot. That's for dang sure.
Yeah,
You can't count them out. The one that I think on the offensive side that I think, and this might hurt some people a little bit, roundabout way, Thornton's going to have to step up.
yeah.
Because if this Benson kid comes in and shows that he can catch the ball with his top end speed, then really, what does Thornton do for us?
Yeah,
You know, it's not going to return. Thornton's not going to return kicks. He's not going to cover punts.
no.
He's not going to do any of that. So, and I believe Benson can return kicks and punts, if I'm not mistaken, or has experience at it. Because he has some really good his Florida State tape's really good. But I didn't look to see if he actually returned kicks or anything at Florida
Really, the only thing Thornton has going for him is his height. But the guy doesn't get vertical. And that was the big red flag on him in when he was coming out for the draft is his vertical was terrible.
Yeah.
The guy's just a long strider, and that's it. Raider Nation saying, hoping we are all proven wrong with Crawford. I was all for a D-tackle receiver, but I like the receiver we picked in the later rounds. Oregon offense was a beast. Their system is a beast, but Benson is a good returner. I will give him that.
No.
Y'all think Stukes will be better than Morig ever was?
I was looking for that. I was looking for that chat.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think he can be because he's more of a ball hawk than Morig ever was. But Stukes also has a lot more versatility than Morig ever had. So Stukes will have a lot more usage in this system that I'm suspecting is going to be ever changing as the games go on.
I'm wondering if Stukes could be better mentally. You know, there were reports that he actually had a 4.0 during he maintained a 4.0 in college. I don't know how good how smart Merrick was, but if Stukes is a lot better in the mental game, he'll obviously be a lot better than Merrick. Do I still love Merrick? Yeah, but time will tell.
Yeah. Now, Arnie Garza coming in. My opinion is our drafts are always graded higher than actually results, so we need early development from our rookies, leading to second-year leap. When has that happened? And you list some really good names there, but unfortunately, here's the fortunate part: is I really believe we have a coaching staff that truly believes that these guys are going to need some type of run in the season, and is not just going to push them to the side to play their people, which that whole word nepotism kicks in. You know, we're going to play our favorites, and everybody else can just STF you. You know, so I really think Kubiak is he's gonna build the team to win. He's gonna put a roster out on the field to win, try and win games because that's what you're supposed to do. But at the same time, these guys aren't going to be sitting there with their helmets on the cooling rack. They're going to have their helmets on, ready to go to get in there and get some play. Might not so much be on the offensive line because you really don't want to play musical chairs on the offensive line. That's bad. That causes a whole lot of bad stuff you don't want to do, to play musical chairs without having to. Okay, but other positions, you're running back, receiver, secondary, defensive line, outside linebacker, middle linebacker. Lindenberg needs some run. We don't know what we got with Lindenberg from last year. He's a physical specimen as far as a middle linebacker, but hey, maybe there's some development there that we're just not, some untapped talent that we're just not seeing. So that might be another player to keep an eye on when we go into the preseason and going forward with this. Yeah. In New Texas, we're going to take Madonna. Yeah, I was absent in thought when that happened, but when the pick did happen, it was like literally a hot knife into my arm. It just, it was like,
that defense is going to be like so much better with him on there. I think.
I slightly disagree with Raider Nation on this one because I go back to the Kubiak press conference that he had at the owners' meetings where he was listing off the defensive fronts that we're going to be playing. And the one that stuck out to me is the only one that he mentioned twice was a 4-2 over. So we're going to be playing a lot of even front. He also mentioned a lot of 5-man fronts also. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of Raider fans got caught up on the 3-4 that was initially said, but Kubiak did go back and say that we're going to be changing formations a lot throughout the game, depending on the situations and how they want to play.
And good teams do.
Yeah.
Good teams. Calling it a 3-4 base is fine. And, and we also have, shout out to 805, Adam Butler.
Yeah.
That could play. I wouldn't want to stick him at the zero technique because I think he's more versatile in a 3 and 5 gap schemes. But we could use him. He's got the build. He's got the makeup for it. And he is pretty good at absorbing double teams and stacking double teams, getting off and also shutting down combo blocks. He's really good at stymieing the combo. But can he do it sustained based on his weight and size? Because that weight and size for a zero technique really plays a big part. And Cleveland is 110% built to play that zero technique. Fingers crossed he can take what he did at NC State, add to it at the professional level, and become – and I'm not saying Hall of Fame or Pro Bowl level, but just good enough to where our linebackers are kept clean. Because if you keep Dean and Walker clean, let them cook.
Let them eat.
Yeah. Jack Kenna saying free safety was the biggest weakness on the roster. I wanted McDonald as a 2-down nose tackle. I would say our DB room as a whole was our biggest weakness, and they attacked it. They made sure that is no longer the weakness on our team.
Yeah.
And that made me very happy by the time the draft was over.
And if McCoy's health is there,
we may have the next up-and-coming great Raiders defensive room.
We could have an all-pro there. We could have an all-pro there with McCoy.
Somebody you could push into that Terry McDaniel era.
Yeah.
Who else played cornerback at Tennessee? Terry McDaniel.
Yeah. Arne Garza, another question. Where do you see AOC, Tucker, Mayer after this year? I see Mayer's going to be gone. He's not going to re-sign with the Raiders. Tucker will be dependent on how he performs this year. And AOC will be dependent on how Mendoza ends up developing, because we will be getting rid of Kirk Cousin, so we don't have to pay the remainder of his contract. Then we'll need a backup quarterback, and AOC is dependable at that position.
Yep.
If Mendoza is struggling in his development, we keep Kirk Cousin, we lose AOC, and Mendoza continues to develop.
And AOC is gonna, if he hits the free agent market, is gonna garner at least a handful of teams that are gonna want to bid on his services with a healthy backup quarterback contract, somewhere in that $13 to $18 million range. And are we gonna shoot for that with him, with Mendoza, which we can at that point we can afford it, right? Being that we're going to have a rookie. Our starter's going to be on a $13.5 million contract. So does it hurt to pay the backup a little bit more just to have that insurance policy with the OC? Because we know he can run an offense. We know he can perform. I think he's a great backup. Chris?
So let's start with AOC. I see AOC being, obviously, he's going to be our emergency quarterback this year. Unless there's a team who is desperate for a backup or that sees the potential in AOC to be a starter, I see us keeping AOC. I see us keeping AOC next year for maybe one more year, but I do not see us keeping Cousins. I say by next year, Mendoza should be the de facto starter. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to cut Cousins because there's something we need to keep an eye on. And if I'm not mistaken, I've been looking into it. Derek Carr. Oh my God, I said the name. Everyone's going crazy. Derek Carr.
A whole podcast without mentioning.
You just shut down the internet, dude. Really?
But no, Derek Carr, I think, might be contract free next year.
Stop with that already. Stop with that. It ain't happening.
Oh, well, just
stop. I know where you're going.
We're not going to bring Carr in for a backup contract.
Hold on. I'm getting a phone call here. What's up, Cairo? Yeah, I tried, man. I tried. He just wouldn't listen. Just would not listen.
Raider Nation, does McCoy postpone the surgery and try to play it, or is he surgery bound no matter what? He is not surgery bound no matter what. However, he did come out and say during his introduction little video that he'll leave it up to the Raiders organization to decide what's best for him and his future. But I think chances are they're going to push back that decision until we get closer to the actual preseason games.
Yeah. And being the position that he plays is very reliable on that flexible knee, I would venture to say they're going to lean on the experts. And when I say experts, more than one person, one high caliber surgeon to make that decision for them. And then it's going to be a collective. And the good thing about McCoy is he's got a good head on his shoulders and he realizes what the reality of it is. And I'm not opposed to it. I don't think any of you guys are opposed to it. I don't think anybody in Raider Nation is really opposed to it. As to if we go, nope, we're just going to send you off to surgery. Go get it fixed. You're still a Raider. Here's your jersey, your number. You're still going to be a Raider. 20 years old. You're a young kid. So your ability to come back at 21, 22 years of age and reacclimate to the high level that you were at before, because you know how you got there, it's just going to be that much easier for you to get back to that level in which now when we roll you out there as our starting cornerback, you can turn and look at our legends on the wall and start to feel in your body that you're capable of getting your picture up there with them.
Salute Lance Smith. Nice seeing you. I haven't seen your name in the chat before. Welcome.
What's up?
Said the pickup of EJ Williams was awesome. I agree.
I like it.
Another Indiana player, some comfortability there for Mendoza.
And he's got good reps with Mendoza. He took a lot off the Penn State game when Cooper was down. Him and Decker filled in. They filled in real nicely in that game.
He has a good shot to make it a team.
Raider Mike, thanks for coming in, man. I'm seeing you in here, and I think he's got some more chats. Let's go ahead and skip through some of this. We'll just real quickly. The consensus for me is Spy feels good, but the picks that he made last year, that's why he didn't make drafting a defensive tackle at 36 or other needs earlier in the rounds. I really think Spy was strategic. And I like what his strategy was, even though, like I said, and you guys, we've talked about it just recently, is when the picks were first made, obviously there was a lot of dissension, a lot of hate, a lot of people were upset. But once you start to think about it and look at the totality of it, it's not bad, guys. It's not bad. Seriously, Johnson and Cleveland are my unknown. Benson's got potential. Yeah, most definitely. Himby will beat out Lobby. I think so too. I actually said that in a chat earlier. Unfortunately, I said it in a kind of a rude way, and I apologize to Mr. Hammer. But I put in the last sentence, bye-bye Lobby, and I should have probably said something more along the lines. I think Lobby's job's in jeopardy. I was kind of it sounded like I was being a dick. I wasn't trying to be a dick when I put the chat in, but man, when he read it, he was like, "Oh no, I'm not putting that on the screen."
Lobby will only say if he fills a special team spot because he does special teams a lot. So if Benson is going to be then the special teams guy from now on, then yeah, Lobby's gone. As much as I like his attitude and his drive, I think this is going to be it for Lobby.
Yeah, and he was a roster bubble last year. The only reason why we carried him was because of his special teams. Where are you going with the chat, man?
Arnie had a question. Which of our rookies have a chance to start this year, drafted or undrafted? I don't think any of the undrafted players have a chance to start unless Tokyo Toe wins out. Drafted wise, I think Stukes is a definite starter, and if McCoy doesn't get surgery, I think he may possibly push out Porter for a starting role until Stokes flames out and Porter takes over for Stokes.
Nah.
As soon as the injury happens in the NFL, what draft pick is AOC worth? Would Pickett get a 5th round?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm putting that. He's
Yeah.
worth a 5th round pick.
Yeah. So it ups him, and that pushes him up because it's going to be somebody else who's going to want him desperately.
Chewy, salute, welcome.
What's up, Chewy? My guy, repping the 559.
That's where I'm from.
Hoping everything's going well with your wife and your soon-to-be baby.
Yay.
Blessings to you, my friend. Blessings to you.
Yeah, prayers out. Hopefully everything goes smoother.
Yeah, please. Hopefully everything goes well.
Massis will also get some run this year. I think he has a sneaky shot. He is a highly productive player out of Cal. He could be a sleeper starter for us for sure.
If Porter does not develop the way people think he's going to develop, I could see Masses being across from McCoy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we finally caught up with chat.
Hold on. All right. That's all I wanted to see.
Thanks for supporting us, Jeff. Thanks for hanging out.
We love you, Jeff. I hope you had a great time in Pittsburgh at the draft and at the Hall of Fame. And you did us proud. So be it. But I'm not going to brag too much about you because it's not worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we at here? So 3 bold predictions based on this draft. Let's start with 1 bold prediction, Mr. Chris.
Bold prediction.
You're thinking too much.
I think
it's got to be bold.
I think we push wild card.
Oh, no. Stop with that nonsense. You need no. Okay, so you're thinking wild card.
Yeah, I think wild card. I think that's is our ceiling right now. Wild card.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think we can push it.
I know it's a bold prediction, but can I add a question to your bold prediction?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How do you see it unfolding, possibly pushing the wild card? Do you think it's a late season push, or we started out hot and then we kind of dwindle?
It's gonna be with the AFC West how it goes, because I still think I don't see the Chiefs doing well, because I think the Chiefs are still gonna be without Mahomes for a while. So that's definitely gonna be something we got to take in consideration. I'm still not 100% sold on that Broncos offense. That defense is going to carry them a lot, but there are going to be some games in which that defense might be on the field a little bit too much and that offense can't produce. And the Chargers, I'm not 100% sold on the Chargers just yet. So my bold prediction is AFC West is going to go crazy, and we might be able to sneak a wild card in.
Yeah. What was your bold prediction, Jason?
Okay, so I am not putting an overall successful prediction together. Okay, my number 1 bold prediction is we are going to be substantially improved, and I say substantially improved because anything can improve on what we did last year, right? I mean, we literally can go get the Birmingham Stallions and shoot them up and do better than what we did last year. That's full stop. I mean, we saw what happened last year. I think we had about maybe 10 quarters of competitive football last year, if that. And even the win against Tennessee was not we weren't competitive. It was just, that was an accident win. That wasn't a competitive win. That was just, I think it was just a matter of who wasn't going to suck the worst that day and won the game.
My bold prediction is we're going to have the most turnovers on our from our defense since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking turnovers as in fumbles, interceptions, and such.
Yeah, total turnovers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Just salute to Troy Skillman. Nice seeing you. It's a new name for me. And Milo Hunt also. Salute.
Yep. Welcome. Hey, for those of you guys that are in the chat, and if you don't know already, the key to the game here when we do these shows is hitting that like button. Thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, hits that algorithm, gets us pumping. Second, hit the subscribe. You can go to my channel, Raiders First Downs. Subscribe to that channel. Donuts Duncan over there. Go to his channel. There should be links in the description.
Yep.
Just
Also
hit those
got the chat
links
right here.
and just subscribe to our channel. Get our subscriptions up. So as we start to continue this, because this is just, we are now beginning the season. There's going to be a lull in June. I know our guy Chris, he's going to take a little detour for us and come back and report mightily on his vacation. Looking forward to it. Excited for him. Go back to the home country and kind of bruise around with mom, and hopefully you come back with some good recipes that we can work on as well. Because me and Duncan, we eat, right?
I eat too.
So, but having said that, hit those likes, subscribes, hit the subscribe to our channel, hit those notifications. Also, get in those comments. If for some reason we didn't get to your chat in the chat, don't go into the comments, put it in the comments, and I read those every morning. I wake up on my coffee and I open my comments up. If you comment, man, we could chop it up in the comment box for days.
Yeah,
with good takes.
I mean, that's what we've been running the show on mostly. You guys have been hot in the chat today, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, I got 10 talking points, and we've gotten to 4. And it's because of you guys in the chat coming in here hot with great questions. And yeah, so now having said that, let's pick our best chatter. Chris, who's our best chatter that we've had today so far?
I'm going to give it to Arnie. Arnie's got some awesome questions, and I'm going to give the shout out to Arnie.
Arnie, you got 1 vote. What about you, Dunk?
It's tight on 3 of them, but 2 of them are because of back and forth. So I gotta go with Arnie also because his questions have been killer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my winner of the chat tonight. This one's hard, man. It really is hard. You guys have all been good. Dixon's been good. Everybody just coming with fire. But I'm going to go Arnie. Arnie, you're the superstar today, brother. Thank you so much for coming in. Shout out to you, my friend, on the chat. When we start to pick this program up and get going, throw some bones out to my chatters out there, and we'll see what happens. But we're just growing this channel, so we're not even 5 months into it there, Dunk, and having a special guest on with us, Chris Ard. Since we got 41 people still in here, we've had a lot of people come in. Chris, real quick, in 15 seconds, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just a guy from the Central Valley, Raiders fan for mainly most of my life, and just love to talk ball.
Okay. Any experience in football specifically?
Just a couple of years in high school. I played fullback in high school. So would I like to play a lot more? Yeah, I still, I with my students, I casually throw a ball around with them. So, I can still sling it here and there.
Right. I forgot Alex. Alex, dude, you're always hot with takes, man. You're always hot with takes. Salute to you, brother. 6 wins, I'm happy. I'm not putting a number on it. Really, in all honesty, if we only win 4 games, but we have 17 games of stuff that we could be proud about, that's a win for me. It's just a matter of progression and seeing what is unfolding before our eyes. Rick Yell, thanks for coming in, brother. We salute you. Chargers win the division next year, but we are closing the gap. Yeah. I absolutely hope that's what we're doing. I think we put them on. I think ASU West is on notice that we're coming back. We are going to come back, and we are going to be relevant. And just the mere fact that we got Rick Dennison and Andrew Nadolko and Clint Kubiak on the offensive side of the ball, I think we hold some consistency down on the defensive side of the ball and start to build on what we should have been doing 5 years ago on the defensive side of the ball. I think it's really starting to take shape. Really do. My bold prediction is that Genty gets 1,200 yards rushing. Salute to you, Dixon Sider. Absolutely. You talk about a man that almost got 1,000 yards with the nastiest, ugliest, most pathetic offensive line you ever saw in the history of Raider Nation. I don't think 1,200 yards is out of the question.
I think he's going to get more.
And we'll touch bases on that as we go along throughout the offseason here. When you get back in July, once preseason come back into one of our shows, either in the chat or we'll bring you up on stage, and we'll lock you in on some of your fallible predictions. Raiders will win multiple games in the AFC West. Hey, you know what? I would just like to win at least 2 or 3, to be quite honest with you. And we beat Kansas City in the last game of last year, but that was a preseason game, guys. Come on. It's a win in the win column. I'll take it. But you guys all know that was a bad episode of NCIS if I ever saw one.
Yeah.
Darren coming in. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Raider Nation. Salute to you. Duncan, you want to take over from here and just start clipping along, giving shout-outs to who we got?
Yep. Lance Smith, bold prediction, Bowers gets 10-plus touchdowns. I actually don't think that's bold because I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to be pushing 15, honestly. That's the bold.
Yeah.
Another bold prediction that I had is Washington gets more rushing touchdowns than Genty.
Yeah.
Dixon Sider, thank you for the support. Make sure you guys push that like button.
That's my bold prediction right there. Tonight's show, we're going to get 25 likes.
And don't forget to jump over to both channels and hit that subscribe. We really appreciate your guys' support. Arnie Garza prediction: Cousins' lack of mobility and poor receiver separation will affect our offensive production. Defense will be top 15 with no major injuries. Offense will change with Mendoza as our starter. Hopefully offense changes for the better with Mendoza as the starter, and we all hope it, and we truly believe he's the guy for us.
But my prediction on that statement is with Cousins, we'll see the formation and we'll see the nucleus and we'll see the beginnings of what it's going to look like going forward next year and the year after and the year after. So it's kind of that. In 1999 with Rich Gannon, you started to see that formation of that offense with John Gruden, Tyrone Wheatley, Tim Brown, Andre Rison. You started to kind of see some of it start to take shape, and then as it starts to take shape, and that consistency and that definition and that identity, and then we just go from there and we build on it.
Yeah. Prediction is we sweep the Chiefs. Depending on how that schedule is laid out, it may not even be shocking that we do, because if we get the Chiefs really early and then the second game we play them is about the halfway point, we may not play Mahomes at all this year. It just all depends on how the schedule plays out.
But you know how the NFL is; they're going to schedule us to play Mahomes. So,
hopefully we play them on Christmas again, and it's a Black Christmas.
Who saw the reaction of the QB from drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, who has hated all his life? Steelers. Yeah, that.
I didn't know Alar was a Browns fan.
Yeah.
Dixon nominating himself for the best chatter. Well, Dixon's always around and always up there pushing it. So we got.
Dude, you're in the Hall of Fame on our channel. Are you kidding me? Why do we have to vote for you all the time? You're already in the Hall of Fame.
Alex is backing it though.
Oh, Alex is going to take you over, Dixon. You better watch out, bro.
Yeah.
You better watch out.
Raider Nation, I nominate the rookie quarterback draft pick from Penn State by the Steelers.
Yeah.
Jim, salute. I don't think I've seen your name before. Welcome. I think the Raiders win 10 games next year. That is a bold prediction. But
it's a bold. I'll take it, but
Raider Mike saying that he agrees with you, Jason. It's not about the wins; it's about our team improving it each week.
Mhm.
Dixon's also saying it feels bold at 1,200 because we don't know how that offensive line is going to perform. I think
perform better than last year.
coaching alone, they're going to look like an actual NFL.
It'll be night and day with just coaching.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I said this earlier. We could have had Art Shell and Gene Upshaw with that coaching staff last year. We still would have sucked.
Yeah.
Troy Skillman is saying that our new Lightning and Thunder, or Thunder and Lightning running back duo, is going to be the next coming of Wheatley and Gardner. We can hope. I really hope so. Darren, yes,
Bush and
I am at
Bush and McFadden.
Bush and McFadden.
Yeah. I do have a YouTube channel. If I hide.
Hey, go clip your YouTube thing and put it in the chat so people can snip it and log in, because I believe it's in the description. So if you go in the show on the horizontal, go in the description. There should be a link there. If not, let me know. That missed it. That might be one of the things I missed when I was putting the studio together. You know me. Sometimes I have lapses. Go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to run through the chat real quick for you so we don't get too far. We're coming up on 2:15. I want another Chiefs Raiders Christmas game too. Hey man, those games are money.
That was a fun one. That last one was a fun one.
Yeah, and it just makes that season feel so much better. Tyreek traded means Max Crosby here to stay. Here's a bold prediction: 2 1,000-yard rushers, Washington and Genty. Dang, Artie.
That would mean that we would have the best rushing attack in the NFL.
Yeah. But hey, Kubiak, look what he did with Charbonnet and Walker. I mean, really, in all honesty, he could have probably pulled that out with them, and it can happen, you know. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a year when Gary Kubiak and Rick Dennison and Mike Shanahan were doing their little nasty stuff in Denver. I think, didn't they have a season with 2,000-yard rushers? Can one of you guys Google that for me?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Off the top of my head, I'm thinking they did. They had 2,000-yard running back. But I know the last one was in Cleveland. Well, Cleveland had 2,000-yard runners. So
let's see. I mean, this is
Dick Insider says, "Yeah, I don't think I'm sub to Duncan." Well, you need to sub to Duncan, man, because if you're going to be in our Hall of Fame here and whatnot, you got to be subbed. And
the latest 2,000-yard rushers, or
no, in the Kubiak Shanahan tree,
yes.
if they had one. So if you just Google 2,000-yard running backs all time NFL type, something in that area, and see if it pops up, because it's happened more than once. It's rare, but it's happened more than once. All right, I'm almost there, Duncan. I think our O-line will be better with a legit coach, not a nepo baby. Exactly. I've been saying that for a while. I think. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Kappa's got to go. Meredith is a functional backup. But what we had laying in our lap 6-8 weeks ago with Rick Dennison would have improved. Would have been something we could be proud of. I don't think so. But it would have been improved. But what we had last year, I mean, good Lord. And the kid almost got 1,000 yards last year, you know. And also, too, take into consideration, it wasn't just the offensive line wasn't producing and getting him going. It's the offensive scheme and the game planning didn't give him the ball the way they should have either. They took the ball out of his hands sometimes after 2 or 3 carries, and that was it. And he would have 2 carries or 3 carries for 25 yards, and then his next 3 carries are into the second quarter when we're already down, and it's like, what are we doing? What's make this make sense? I mean, there's 8-year-old kids playing Madden right now yelling at you, Chip Kelly, for your stupidity.
Yeah. Nothing is really coming up in terms of the Kubiak era under Gary Kubiak. In terms of 2,000-yard rushers, I could probably not be doing my search properly. But let's see. I think didn't the Lion, if we're looking at just in the NFL in total, didn't the Lions had their pair rush for 1,000 each recently?
Mm,
I think
good
they were
question.
close. I'm not sure.
You know, I'm going to research that. If anybody in the chat world wants to research that, the most dual.
I think
Go
in the Shanahan Kubiak tree, they have not had dual 1,000-yard rushers because
Mhm.
they've always had a workhorse primary back.
Mhm.
Texans had Arian Foster with Kubiak. The
Yeah,
Broncos had shoot.
Well, it started with Davis.
yeah. Terrell Davis,
Terrell Davis.
1,000-yard
Yeah.
rushers under Gary Kubiak was Terrell Davis, Clinton Portis, Mike Anderson, Arian Foster, Orlandis Gary,
Yeah.
Ruben Drones, and Justin Forsett.
Dang.
Yeah. Ace Boogie saying Raiders draft grade F plus. Hey, at least we got the plus in your book.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in to see why you're saying F plus. I can only imagine it's because you're not a Raider fan, but I may be wrong. Money check bold prediction: Genty will average 18 to 20 carries per game. Seattle ran 29.1s per average a game last year. Kubiak isn't going to let the talent like him not do so. Well, Kubiak is very adamant in running the football,
Yep.
both with the Saints and with the Seahawks.
Which is going to take us to the next impactful chat. Keep going.
Yeah. The whole thing is Kubiak will not go away from the run game. Even like last year with Seattle, when they were getting stuffed, he kept going back to it. He's going to keep defenses honest, so that way we don't become one-dimensional to where they can just start keying up on the passes and start getting interceptions from us. Also, if you're able to run the ball that successfully, what does it matter if your quarterback's not throwing for 4,000 yards in a season or whatever? If the teams can't stop your run game, you don't stop running the football.
You don't.
Can I jump up on that soapbox for just a second?
Go ahead.
Okay. So, Jeff, obviously we've been on the phone or in a live when the Buffalo Bills have been playing in the playoff games. And what have they done? They have a running back who led the league in rushing last year, who in a playoff game has 70 yards rushing in the first quarter, and they took the ball out of his hands. Geez, I wonder why that's why the head coach probably got fired. Right? So the idea behind an effective offense is a nasty run game. The run game sets the tone. No chances. While I'm still on this soapbox, if you want to question a running game more than him passing the ball and can't handle the NFL speed versus college, LOL, wasted number one pick. I'm going to go back to a previous show that we did. I'm going to give you some names. Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Cade McDonald, Caleb Downs. What team did they play for?
Ohio State.
Who got beat by Fernando Mendoza? And don't tell me their running game is what won in the game either, because I'll even let you go look at the stats. It wasn't the running game that won that. It was the precise passes that were made when they needed to make them, controlling the clock, keeping the game in purview against an NFL caliber defense. I just named 4 guys that were taken in the first round. NFL caliber defense, and he performed admirably. And that was after getting his freaking pecker knocked in the dirt on the first play of the game, and he still completed that pass.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. He understands the speed of the game. He's played against NFL caliber speed, Miami, Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon. He's played against those type of defenses already. Now, is the speed going to be a little bit better in the NFL? Absolutely, it's going to be. But he already knows that. He's seen it and he's done it. So it's just a matter of just a little bit more click and it'll happen. That's the reason why. His work ethic, the totality of everything that is built into that human being. And I understand, we could have done more with more picks. I get that. But you also see some people with more picks. It doesn't necessarily translate. Quantity does not necessarily translate to quality.
Yeah. Let's look at that draft class in which we got Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Abram, and Cleve Farrell. We had 3 first-round draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they now?
Not playing for the Raiders, and 2 of them, or one's in the league, but he's pretty much a backup player. The other one's not.
You know what? That's it. I'm going straight to the president on this one. I'm going straight to the president on this one.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Dixon. I appreciate it.
Yeah, shout out to the rest of the chat. Sorry about that, Duncan. Shout out to the rest of the chat. We've been on for 2.5 hours. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of people in here with great takes, great chat. Chris, thank you for coming in so much. Appreciate it. Duncan, aka the Professor, new nickname. So if Jeff's going to be the skipper and I'm going to be Gilligan, you might as well be the Professor. So that's it. And it's a Gilligan's Island reference. You know who Gilligan's Island is?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Barely,
yeah. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
But if we can give a shout out to everybody that's been in the chat, Michael Guerrero, I know you're just jumping in here, man. We're wrapping it up 2.5 hours in. Jeff, I want you to watch the outro to our show tonight.
Real quick, Jay.
Final words there, Duncan?
Yeah, I wanted to shout out Jay Malfair. Is Trey Zune a surprise pick? And then he commented again, even considering how much Linderbaum got and how he's here, how long he's here. Trey Zune is not a center. He is a guard that can play all 5 positions on the offensive line.
47 games at left tackle.
Yeah.
In the SEC.
He did start at guard at the season, but injuries pushed him at the tackle spot where he held it down the rest of the season. He's also has top 2 rating when it comes to pass blocking. And he's also the only offensive tackle in college last year that prevented Ruben Bain from getting a pressure.
Who is the other guard that was on Texas A&M?
Chase Basantis.
Where'd he go in the draft?
2nd round.
I've always said that sometimes just getting a lineman from a specific school with high caliber offensive linemen is a treasure.
Yeah. Well, plus they're playing in a division that is stacked at talent and pass rushers and D linemen.
Yeah, 48 games at left tackle, starting at left tackle against SEC competition, high level elite pass rushers. He blocks people. He gets in front of them and he blocks them.
Yeah.
I think the only school that would compare to Basantis and Zune this past season was Iowa with Logan Jones and getting Stunker.
Or Utah, Lomu and Fano.
Lomu and Fano too.
Which all of those they're constantly producing offensive linemen. Constantly. I had PTSD on offensive linemen coming from Alabama. And it's not just Leatherwood. There's other guys that have been elite college linemen that've gone high and just in the NFL.
Heck, I didn't even like was it Caden Proctor coming out of Alabama this year? He screamed red flag to me.
Oh, you just watched the Missouri game and Zion Young beat him like a redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
But hey, Chris, we're getting 2.5 hours in. Brother, thank you so much for coming in. Do you have any YouTube channels or anything that you'd like to share with the?
Nah, I'm good for right now. I don't need social media or anything in my life. Just if you guys see me on if you guys are in Rodney's Discord, go ahead and just say what's up. Just tell me what's up.
Yeah, that's another one too. Hey, Duncan, the All Aboard Discord. Can you advertise that in the chat with our chat guys?
Yeah,
really good. If you guys want to go in and have really solid conversation in a chat. The All Aboard is probably one of the best. Also, Rodney All Aboard produces on Patreon, both on Patreon and on YouTube. He produces shows that his content is phenomenal. He does a really good job. He's definitely got a face for television and not for radio. Shout out to Rodney if you're listening. Love you, brother. What you've done in building this relationship here, plus other relationships with your Discord channel, has been phenomenal. And your content is absolute. We love it. Not a big fan of you liking Utah Jazz, but he is a diehard Penn State fan. So we'll give him that. And I think he went to Penn State too, didn't
he? Yeah, he's a
alumni.
Also, he's just one of the more true Raider YouTubers out there. Like, there's very few, counting you guys. You guys are great. You know, Raider Jeff is great. A lot of the good Raider YouTubers are small. When you get up to the high ones, it's like, yeah, you know. So definitely shout out to you guys. Shout out to Jeff, and shout out to Rodney.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially Jeff, 401_Raider_Jeff, president of the production company that we are assigned to at this time. Shout out to him. He does a really good job. He's a great friend. And I know the whole Fernando Mendoza thing, he likes to, now he uses it as a trigger, and I'm getting to the point now. It's like, whatever, just shut up. I'm done. I'm done with that. Move on. Next topic.
Yeah.
But I did create the outro just for you.
Yeah. And Jeff said he was going to be streaming later today, I believe. So go check out his channel.
Yeah.
Yep. But salute.
Yeah. And don't mind the New England accent with him, because he is from Rhode Island. I know some people might go, you know, I never heard of a car before, you know, C-A-W. It's more C-A-R, but that's okay.
But he is a diehard Raiders fan.
And I love him like a brother, man. He's a good dude. Well, hopefully one day we actually get to meet in person.
That'd be cool.
See, I'm going to pick him up. Give him a big old bear hug and pick him up.
Raider Nation, we got nothing but good things to look out for. Got a lot of hope for the future.
Tuesday's up in the air right now with us, Duncan. We'll talk about it later. I kind of pulled I'm doing a show tonight. Might not do one on Tuesday. This is the Show Me the Shield podcast. Tuesday nights, 5:00 Pacific time. We go live. We did a show last week. We might do one again this week, because I would really like to break down other people's drafts in the AFC West. Maybe we'll do something like that, is target their drafts and how it affects us in the long run. We'll do that. And then Pride and Poise, Fridays, 11:00 a.m. That's 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I need to get some advertisements rolling across our screen here so people can chat that. But if you just go and hit subscribe to our channels and hit that notification bell, hit the bell. It says all. Don't do personalized, do all. And then as our content starts to flow, you will get the notifications within 30 minutes of us going live, you will get that notification so you can pile in here, give us your take. And Raider Nation Voices Saturday night with me and the boss, the skipper, 401_Raider Jeff. That's a call-in show, guys. So if you don't want to sit there and chat, you can dial the number and call in and give us your take over the phone. I'll just be quite honest with you, on Saturday nights, that thing gets live. It is probably, I'm not going to lie, when we get this thing, as it goes into the season, I could really see this being one of the top Raider content shows across YouTube. That's my second bold prediction.
Yeah.
Because, Jeff does a really phenomenal job, and he's got a beautiful co-host. So check that out. Saturday night, 7:00 Pacific Standard Time, Raider Nation Voices. And you want to give a salute there for us, Duncan? And I'll hit the
salute everyone. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. We really appreciate it.
You've been loud all summer, talking like you know, saying he ain't built, saying he too slow. Every take you got, you standing on it now. Yeah, you real confident, I'll give you that for now. Say he ain't the one, say he gon' fold. Say it with your chest, be bold. Don't switch up when it get real clear. Keep that same energy all year. We gon' revisit this